to the dance floor.
No, thank you. Who you talking to? Cause I know it ain't me. You tried it. Girl. Oh, Give me your purse. No, ma'am. No, sir. He's acting like we work for him. He ain't my boss. Oh, mama don't even try to tell me what to do anymore. Since I've been 15 years old, I've been paying my own bills and doing my own taxes. So you relax.
I don't work for you. You seem to be very confused. You not the boss of me. To be very confused if you think that you gon' tell me what to do. 'Cause you're not. Oh baby boy, you must be so very confused. Everybody's freaking out 'cause something's wrong with you. And there is something very wrong with you. Something wrong with you. There is something very wrong with you.
Fast like lightning, harder than a hurricane. I bring the thunder, I'm dancing in the pouring rain. If you try to fight me, dishonor on your family name. They like me, world will never be the same. IQ billion, patience zero. Did you ever meet a modern day hero? Hold up, wait, whoa. Put the flavor on it. Why you frontin' on me, boy? I'm your daddy favorite.
Bad boy, look at you now. King for a day, you are wearing the crown. King for a day, you are wearing the crown. You really made your daddy proud. You really might have made your daddy proud. Y'all never thought he would come back around. You never thought he would. Here it is though, heavenly cloud, blowing it now, building it up, just about down. Always a game, totally shameless. Pawns all fall down. Coming back for you. Coming back to you. I wrote this song in A minor. Get it? 'Cause tricks aren't for kids. Bad boy, what you gon' do? Now, bad boy, what you gon' do? Feds all out here looking for you. And they looking for you. And they all fall. Huffing, they puffing, they blew it all now. Built it up to burn down. And playing a game that you never could win. Pawns all fall. Every promise you broke, every lie that you spoke. Coming back for you. Every time that you prayed, every move that you made. Coming back to you. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. About it. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. About it. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. About it. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. About it. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Get back to the hometown. That 225. Don't make 'em like this no more. Take it to the dance floor. Really never heard it like this before. My DJ and your DJ, they sat down on a bio. My DJ don't play no game. He throw that fire. He throw that. Aiko, aiko, one day. He throw that. Chakamudina name. He throw that. DJ and your DJ, they say aiko, aiko, one day. He throw that. Chakamudina throw that fire. My grandma to your parent, they sat down on a bio. My grandma say your parent, I said this down fire. Talk about it now, aiko, aiko, one day. Listen, let my phone let me shine because I could do this all day. You know that I could do this all day. Back to the hometown. I take now. Show 'em what I'm talking about. Show 'em one like this. It's that 225. It's that 318. That 504. That overdrive. Little pump, big fish. One shot, don't miss. Heard it like this before. Back to the dance floor. Hey now, hey now. That's our 225. Aiko, aiko, one day. Hey now, hey now. Aiko, aiko, one day. Aiko, aiko, one day. Hey now, hey now. Aiko, aiko, one day. Hey now, hey now. That's our 225. Hey now, hey now. Aiko, aiko, one day. Hey now, hey now. Like that before. Aiko, throw that fire, throw that. Talk about the other fire, throw that. Aiko, throw that fire, throw that. He throw that fire, honey. My grandma to your parent, they sat down on the bio. My grandma say your parent, I set this camp on fire. Hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. Aiko, aiko, one day. Listen, let me know, let me shine because I can do this all day.
Hey, you want to take a picture by the car?
No, thank you. Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning. I am late. You know, you ever one of those days where it's just like, no matter what, you just can literally not put yourself into like that gear. It's just one of those days. I woke up late than usual. Whoo, okay, bear with me. Yeah, Hometown is on Spotify. The music channel is Gorianna Mims is in here. Oh my God. I love that, BJ. Shout out to Mims in the chat. I was literally just catching up on your stream from yesterday. I do love that song so much, but like that's one of them, like, oh, Mims, y'all, I don't know if y'all know this or not. Mims probably my cousin because we have this Louisiana connection, but that's like a very Louisiana song. That's been remixed in many ways and things, but yeah, I did own spin on it. A lot of people think I'm saying my grandma and your grandma. I'm not saying that. I'm saying my grandma and your parent. Okay, we're taking it back to the hometown. It's my grandma and your parent. Okay, and they're fighting over DJs, and mine's like, throw that fire. Okay, not fire. He throw that fire. It's really more like file. Okay, but the ones who get it. The ones who don't know. Anyway, okay, so I can't take full credit for that and all that, but I did kind of put my own spin on it. Whew, okay, here I am. Here we are. Mims, are you going to court today? Okay, we're on Inner City Press. Pull that up. My grandma and your parent. They sat down on the bio. My grandma. Basically, my grandma said to your parent, but that's not the words I say. I say my grandma say your parent. This is how Cajuns talk, okay? At least the ones I come from. My grandma say your parent. I set this camp on fire. I will set yours on fire. But my lyric is, my DJ don't play no games. He throw that fire. Okay, you get it. You don't. Thanks so much, Whims. Member for 7 months. Gotta say, I'm gonna be really bored after the trial is over and BJ's no longer that awesome coworker that keeps us entertained all day. Listen, I'm gonna be covering other trials next year. I'm covering probably the Blake Lively one. I want to cover the Big U one because I think that one's gonna web back into this. Shout out to Great Gig in the Sky, member for a month. Does Juror 6 know how much energy is being focused on them? I don't think so. But how could we know? Thanks so much, Sour Girl, for the $1.99. All right, let's get started here. This is Inner City Press Twitter. I am really, honestly, y'all, it's just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Anyway. Whoo, Lord, girl. Okay. So before the jury comes in even, the messages, the judge says the messages at issue that the defense wants to get in. Says Diddy wants to get some of these text messages in. The messages that Diddy and them want to get in. Can't you redact these messages to make it more in line with what the prosecution wants? Teeny Guerra goes, Your Honor, we shouldn't have to. The messages are consistent with our theory. They opened the door. The judge cut me off. They didn't open the door. No, they did not. So, next. The prosecutor goes, this is Comey. On direct examination, we elicited testimony about the end of the relationship in 2024. There were no texts. They were oral communications. So we didn't open a door to anything talking about texts. This self-serving voice note made by Diddy should not come in. By December 2023, this is the month after Cassie's lawsuit was filed, the prosecutors are like, Your Honor, by December 2023, Diddy was obviously trying to start a record for this trial. He was obviously starting at least to make a record for other civil lawsuits because he was expecting they were going to be coming down the pipe. Diddy gets on his phone and makes a voice note. It's self-serving and it shouldn't come in. Basically what Maureen Comey is saying. So if I could put together these two tweets, I'm not in the courtroom. I don't know exactly what's going on. But if I could put these two tweets together and kind of try to fill in the blanks, what it is it's text messages. And it seems like the judge is getting the text messages to come in, but maybe there's a voice note attached. And the judge is like, we're not doing, why can't y'all just take the voice note out? And Garagos is like, no, we got to keep the voice note in The government opened the door. Judge is like, shut up. No, they did not open the door. He didn't even let her finish the sentence. Then the prosecutor said, Your Honor, we agree with you. We agree with you. Want to know why? Because Diddy was just trying to pepper the file. He was trying to put evidence into the file because he was already getting sued. We should not let this come in because Diddy was literally creating evidence with the form of this voice note. Leave it out, Your Honor. We agree. That's Comey. That's the feds. The judge said, okay, fine. But what about hold on. Sorry, I just need I was getting a call from a family member. Let me just. The video is glitching. I don't know what to do about it. It must be an internet issue. Let me go do a speed test. Make it make sense that, are you over Jane's testimony? I'm headed to court. To put it, one way, I don't know if I'd go so far as to quite say I'm over it, but I am ready to move on. I am in the can we move on category. I do feel like we've probably gotten what we're going to get out of this witness, unless Teeny has just been sitting on something. Unless Teeny just been sitting on something, she's going to drop it. But yeah, I am ready to move on for sure. I don't know if I'm over it or not, because I am still kind of thinking through stuff she's said. Of course, I'm not in the courtroom. That's why I got to watch you every single day. But short answer, kind of. But maybe I wouldn't put it quite in those terms, but kind of, yeah. Thank you for the super chat, the $1.99. All right. The judge says to the prosecutors, trying to find a little middle ground, right? Because the judge is really supposed to be middle ground the whole time. And so he's like, all right, so prosecutors don't want any of it in. Diddy wants the text messages in and the voice note with that Diddy said in it. So one side wants all of it. One side wants none of it. So the judge is like, well, come on in the middle. Won't y'all do where it's like maybe no voice note, or maybe can Jane be questioned? Can she be questioned about it instead of maybe pulling up the voice note? The prosecutor said, no. Brian said, That's going to confuse the jury. We're nervous that might confuse the jury. So no, can't do that either. Diddy was trying to feed Jane a narrative throughout their relationship. Okay, so in this case, the prosecution is saying this is Diddy trying to feed Jane a narrative. He's laying evidence in for trial. He knew there was going to at least be civil lawsuits coming down the pipe. And so he was trying to change the narrative. It's self-serving. It doesn't need to come in. It's going to confuse the jury. It's not relevant in the sense that it adds anything probative, because it's just him trying to lay evidence out. He also tried to feed Jane a narrative throughout their entire relationship. I disagree, I think, with Maureen Comey on this one part of the argument. I think if it's a piece of evidence to come in to show that he's trying to feed Jane a narrative, that actually helps prosecution. And I think it would just bolster the issue with the jury. But I don't exactly know, because we don't know. We have no idea what's on these messages. Yeah, no, I'm told that the chat is. I don't know what to really tell y'all. Let me go do a speed test. I think it's just internet. I think it's just internet, because it's showing it's working on my end. And if it's both the audio and the video, no, my internet seems fine. Maybe it's the server. Somebody said something about a server. Sorry, y'all. I guess let me try one. Let me try one thing. I might be able to do something. No, I'm not going to be restarting the stream. Absolutely not. Somebody said it looks great for them. Let me just try one thing. just in case. But if it's the audio and video, it's likely not on the end. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. There's really not anything I can do. Some people are saying it's fine for them. So it might just be need to pay their internet bill or something. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I did just now like readjust the cables. Thanks, Diddy Docket. Yeah. So it wasn't that. I make sure everything was securely plugged in and everything. And on my end right here, like my monitor, that it's like actually going into StreamYard, it looks clear and fine. It's not glitching. So I do think it's maybe an upload issue. Yeah, no. Some people are saying it stopped. I think it'll end up evening out. Y'all got to understand too, like what we're actually asking this technology to do is like yes, the camera's plugged in. Thank you, Amber. Someone said what happened to the orphanage video. It's coming back out today again, y'all. There was an adjustment, a very important adjustment needed to be made. So it will be coming back out. Apologies if it's glitching, y'all. Everything is plugged in. Everything's right in my monitor. So I do think it's maybe some type of internet or service issue. I will say there's solar flares, and I read a bunch of articles in like other countries where these solar flares are like putting out whole internet stuff. So it could be something to do with that. I'm not sure, y'all. But yeah, sorry it's glitching. I've checked everything I can on my end. Some people are saying they can see it fine, so I do think it may just be issue like that. Sorry. I say sorry because I work for you, but it does aggravate me when stuff like that happens too. Like I work so hard, I put so much work into this, in these streams, and this, I pay for the service, I pay for the internet. It is annoying, and it's not something that to be going on as a perfectionist, as a Virgo, and all that. Okay, let me put that up. All right. So a lot of people, and then on to the next topic. It's also a full moon today. Yes, I remember somebody was telling me that. No, I'm not going to be restarting anything. And I'm also making a new rule. Like if y'all have like really offensive names, you're allowed to, First Amendment and all that. But I just don't want anybody with like super offensive or derogatory like actual screen names like on here either, because then when people reply to them, they're typing out those words, and we already had a whole talk about it yesterday. Anyway, okay. So where were we? I know it's glitching. Sorry, there's nothing I can do about it. Whew, okay. So where were we? The judge was talking about whether or not to let in this chat, this text message chain with a voice note in it. He's kind of trying to do a compromise. He's trying to kind of do like okay, well, what if we, don't play the note, but maybe y'all can ask about it. Diddy side wants this in. He wants it in. What it seems like to me is being argued over is Diddy trying to lay down evidence. He's trying to say like, oh, you liked everything and you wanted everything. It's like self-serving and nothing. It just shows that Diddy's trying to lay out a narrative. So the judge is like, okay, what about this compromise? What if Teeny Garagos can question about the conversation, but we don't introduce the voice note into evidence? Comey said, no, that's going to confuse the jury. No, it's hearsay and it's precluded. She said, if Diddy wants to take the stand himself and subject himself to cross-examination, fine. Then the voice note can come in, because then we can ask him about it. But this is just basically letting him put in testimony, the same thing he was doing, nodding vigorously to the jury. They shouldn't take testimony and put it in without actually having to be subjected to cross-examination. And it's just precluded, Your Honor. Actually, that's a strong argument. I agree with her. The judge said, yeah, questions themselves without Diddy's voice note. Let's say we leave Diddy's voice note out, Maureen. You're right on that issue. So let's take that part out. What about the text messages or the questions? That wouldn't be for the truth of the matter asserted. Then the prosecutor said, yeah, sure, that's all fine and good, but that's just a well technically. This is a thinly veiled way to get it in through the back door, and it's still precluded, Your Honor. The judge, yeah, I did think this was a good argument. The judge agrees too. The judge agrees with Maureen Comey on the voice notes where Diddy is talking about his state of mind, because you can't put stuff in there as if it's testimony. It's like testifying. It's the same way that the judge was like, you can't sit here nodding vigorously when your lawyer makes certain points, because if you do that, then it's basically like testifying. You're like affirming what your lawyer is saying, and that's not right. The judge agrees. He's like, you can't have that voice note in, but some questions on this are going to be permitted. And if you feel the door gets opened, there becomes a basis to introduce more of it, then somebody needs to call for a sidebar. Okay, moving on to the next issue. Now this is a big one. This is a big one right here. The notes or her, like, you know how they've been putting in stuff from the Notes app? Some of that Notes app stuff has not been allowed into evidence. The judge said it can't come in. Different things from certain time periods, etc. So we're moving on. First thing they argued about before the jury came in was some text messages with a voice note in it. Diddy wanted to bring it all in. Feds wanted to keep it all out. Judge kind of went in the middle. He can't do the voice note, but there's some questions can be allowed or whatever. Moving on to the next argument, next issue. Next issue is some notes in the Notes app. Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to read through those two just to see where they were going with this. So the judge appears to be siding. Okay. So this next thing is notes that have to do with things that happened during a certain time frame. Now, y'all, I'm just kind of having to guess and spitball because I've seen different stuff reported from people inside the courtroom. Some people are saying that these have to do with notes before November 2023, which was Cassie's lawsuit. Some people are saying that this has to do with notes in Jane's phone from after Cassie's lawsuit. I've heard both. I'm not sure what it is, and it's under seal what they've been arguing about, so I really don't know. Sorry, I needed to check it. Text message. Okay. The fact pattern. So the judge, so I don't know when it's from, where it's from. I really don't. They don't tell us. There was not telling us so far. So we can only just guess, but it is something to do with Jane Doe notes. Government wants them in. And they said yesterday that Teeny Garagos had opened the door to letting these in because Teeny Garagos was trying to make an argument that Jane Doe is lying because the government is going to put her in jail if she don't tell the full truth and nothing but the truth. Like, who gets to decide if you're lying and all that? But here's the judge going, once there is a motive to fabricate, the statements cannot come in as a prior consistent statement because then there's a motive to have lied. This fact pattern does not appear to have previously arisen. This is 2 time periods. So that means this fact pattern doesn't appear to have previously arisen, meaning there's no case law. So the judge is just going to have to make a precedent-setting decision here. Now, Diddy's side argues it would be improper. Diddy's side argues don't let it in. It's not right. It's not proper to let it in. Why? Because the messages on the Notes app post-date, meaning come after Cassie's lawsuit. Okay, so we do get the judge saying it's notes in Jane's phone that were made in Jane's phone after Cassie's lawsuit was filed. The assistant attorney said, I know that we're delayed in bringing in the jury, Your Honor, so I really don't want to push about getting this in. The judge said, no, go ahead, push. It's just the government has already put in a lot of messages on this. It would be, I've heard the judge also tell Diddy's side similar things when they were trying to get stuff in. Remember all those extra pictures of Cassie and extra things of Mia and things. And the judge is like, you've already read a lot of Instagram posts. Do we really need to get in more? Do we need more and more and more? So now he's doing the same type of reasoning on the other side to the government. Judge said, no, go ahead, make your arguments, push, say it. It's important. But where I'm leaning is y'all have a lot of stuff in on this. And the assistant U.S. attorney, this is the feds. She says, all right, Your Honor, the only thing I really want in, be honest with you, shoot straight with you. Only thing I really want in is where Jane said, quote, I felt obligated 98% of the time. The judge said, I'm going to reserve. I think that reserve means I'm going to think about it. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what that means. Wow. Y'all sick of this. I am really sick of this. Like someone needs to step in and tell this judge to cut this out. Look at this. Judge is like, I'm going to reserve. Now can we bring in Jane? And then before they actually bring in Jane, this is 8 minutes ago, Inner City Press. The prosecutor said, Your Honor, we made an application through your deputy. The judge said, oh yeah, I think I have it right here on this Post-it note. And Inner City Press, and I have to agree with him, says, question, isn't this Post-it note now a judicial document? Is it going to be docketed? Y'all, requests to judges, applications, these are judicial documents. And we as the public literally have a right to know what each and every single request from the feds, from the defense, from everybody to this judge, and every single thing the judge says has to be somehow publicly documented, whether that be through the court reporter, whether that be through putting it on the docket through filings, whether that be through scanning it. There has been I think more than half of the documents in trial at this point have not been actually publicly docketed. This is preposterous. Look, let's bring Jane in. Oh, Your Honor, we gave you a little Post-it note. Remember the Post-it note motion that held, but we're not going to put on the docket? Then the judge goes, okay, let's go to the secret clubhouse, judge's robing room in the back now again. Let's go to the secret clubhouse. Come on to the back. Can I come too? Who wants to come? I think it is. So the judge lets her come, but I think this is about the publication. Somebody that they're trying to get somebody removed from the courtroom. Or maybe it's the juror issue. Inner City Press said, question, is this about the hit list of publications that Jane's lawyer said she would submit, but is not in the docket? Look at all this stuff off the docket, y'all. It is 9:45. Court is supposed to start at 9 a.m. with the jury. And they're doing super secret right now. Let's look. Your Honor, this is the prosecutor. We made an application through your deputy. We gave your deputy a Post-it note. Isn't this the Post-it? Is this note now a judicial document? Let me go to the docket too and see what, and T says makes a good point. TGF. And then the documents on the docket, it's all under seal. The ones that are not under seal are, a lot of them are redacted. I'm going to the docket right now. It is very frustrating. The public has a right to these documents. And this judge knows that the public is following this and watching it. And it almost makes me feel like if the public wasn't as interested in the case, he would be less secretive. And I don't like that. It's like, I'm all fine and good for keeping a Jane Doe's identity confidential and all of that. But at this point, they're passing sticky notes to the judge as court filings. And what the hell? What is going on? Okay, no, nothing's been publicly filed in this case for 2 freaking days. Look at this. The last thing filed was the 10th. Today's the 12th. It's aggravating, I will say. Jedi mind trick says if you go out and come back in. I know. Put a camera. Put a camera in the robing room. A stream. I know that it's glitching. It's my internet is working. Everything's working. My monitor is like monitoring it. So it maybe it's just be some type of server error. It may be some type of I don't know what's really going on, y'all. So there's nothing new there, but let me pull up some of the other sources. I'm getting like really aggravated. I mean, I've been aggravated by this, but it's like becoming more aggravating because it's like all this super secrets like they're having. Well, why don't y'all just have super secret court then and leave us out of it? Why are you using our taxpayer funded courts for all of this super secret meetings? Just go have your super secret society meetings somewhere else. Bye. Who else do we usually go with? NBC, Washington Post, The Independent. No, I don't trust Daily Mail because they got that weirdo writing. I'm not doing it. Sky News. Okay, I guess this is enough for now. Oh, New York Post, maybe? No. All right. Okay, Washington Post is writing about it. They have an update. No, I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to be happening, and I really don't even really know what's wrong. Yeah, someone's like, can we block the word glitch? Actually, yes, I can. Because I think that's like clogging up the chat. Okay. So Washington Post is writing about this. They said it right here. The lead counsel invited into the judge's robing room. Once again, these conversations have been under seal, but we have clues about the subject matter. The last time this happened, the parties were apparently discussing a juror that the government would like kicked from the jury pool. On Wednesday, this has to be what they're talking about. Yeah, because yesterday they were like, if they're going to write something about it, we're going to write something about it. So it's either the jury pool thing or the juror, where they're like, juror six to be kicked out of here, or it's about the journalist or whatever in the courtroom, whoever it is, YouTuber, whoever, whatever. It's either about that, like somebody in the courtroom revealing the identity of Jane, or it's about the juror 6. The last time this happened, the parties apparently discussed a juror the government wanted kicked from the jury pool, or it's not the jury pool, it's the jury. On the judge gave Diddy and his side a day to respond to the government's allegations that the juror was not forthcoming. Diddy's team has called the investigation into that juror a thinly veiled effort to dismiss a black juror. He's a 41-year-old man from the Bronx who works at a corrections facility and enjoys 90s hip hop. All right, so let me go back to Inner City Press. This is so weird. Sticky note. Okay, let's just read from the beginning on Washington Post because they always have the details. 1 hour ago, a federal employee is wiping down benches and screens and making sure the computers used for evidence are in order as we get ready for the 22nd day of Diddy's trial. Spectators are waiting to enter the courtroom. At the close of trial yesterday, prosecutors said they would probably call their final witness sometime next week, at which point the defense gets its turn to make its case. The question on everyone's mind. I don't think this is the question on everyone's mind. The question on everyone's mind, I think, is Diddy going to lie? But the Washington Post said the question on everyone's mind is whether the trial will run past the July 4th weekend. And that's going to depend on how many witnesses Diddy's team calls and how long the jury deliberates. 46 minutes ago, Wesley Parnell, Washington Post, we are still expecting to hear from Judge Subramanian about a juror who prosecutors claim was not forthcoming during the selection process, and they want juror 6 thrown from the case. Diddy's team has called it a thinly veiled effort to dismiss a black juror. During the jury selection process, the 41-year-old man from the Bronx told lawyers that he worked at a correctional facility. He read the New York and GQ and was a fan of 1990s hip hop, reggaeton. Y'all told me what that was. I thought reggae and reggaeton was the same. It ain't. Thank you for educating me during jury selection, everybody. And he likes fantasy football, a daughter. Diddy's defense requested time yesterday to respond to this allegation. In other news, look, y'all. Look at this. Shout out to Washington Post's Samantha Cherry. Oh my God, this is funny. Billy Bob Thornton and Diddy in a scene from Monsters Ball. Look, they got him in a cell, so we have a picture of it from a movie. She said in other news, Diddy's costume from the 2001 movie Monsters Ball sold at auction for $24,510. GWS Auctions representative Mike Sicilian told Washington Post. He played a death row prisoner named Lawrence Musgrove in the film. Halle Berry was in it. Okay. 24 minutes ago, court has begun. This is Washington Post. But the jury is not in the room yet. During an evidence discussion among the lawyers, we found out who recorded those 2 phone calls. It was Diddy. He wasn't being wiretapped. He was recording it. Remember whenever we heard him do that call of Jane Doe or whoever? Yeah, it was Jane. And it was like those, he was like, "Are you recording?" And she, absolutely not. And he was recording. He was recording. So how do I know this? Well, I don't, but I'm reading Washington Post. So they're saying that. Anne Brannigan said, court has begun, but the jury is not in the room yet. During an evidence session among the lawyers, we found out who recorded 2 phone calls between Diddy and Jane in the days after Cassie's lawsuit was filed. It was Diddy. Diddy did it. Cassie and Jane are both ex-girlfriends accused Diddy of abuse, with Jane using the name Jane. During one of the calls, according to the assistant U.S. attorney, during one of these calls, Diddy asked Jane if recording. And he did that to throw her off the scent. During this conversation, Jane attempted to say she felt like parts of Cassie's lawsuit captured for word her own experiences. So now I just wonder if he didn't record that conversation to create evidence for himself just right there. Because look, he's like, "Are you recording?" All the while he's recording. During the conversation, Jane says she felt pressured. Like she felt like it was word for word. Reading Cassie's lawsuit was like reading word for word my own trauma. But he kept cutting her off. He wouldn't let her say it because he knew he was recording it. Okay, we already read this one. The lead counsels have been invited to the robing room. Let's refresh. Okay. 4 minutes ago, I felt obligated 98% of the time. There was a lengthy back and forth this morning about a Jane wrote in late 2023. Just 1 or 2 sentences. The government wants to admit as evidence, I did feel forced and taken advantage of. Jane wrote this in a notes app about her hotel nights or freak-offs with Diddy. I felt it 98% of the time. So that's what they want to get in. Let's see if they're still doing they're still in the robing room. And Press has tweeted, he said 9:53 a.m. They are still in the robing room, but whatever is being discussed has not been docketed despite this prior granted application. There's like a judge's order that this stuff has to be public. Hold on, I'm making a tweet. I'm tweeting. Okay. Okay, let's go to NBC. 3 hours ago, Jane back for the 6th day on the stand. Former girlfriend of Diddy, identified by the pseudonym Jane, will return for her 6th day on the stand. Yesterday, the defense team said they would be done with cross-examination in the morning. Prosecutors told District Judge Aaron Subramanian that the government will its case no later than next Friday, so a week from tomorrow, but it could be done as early as Wednesday. One of the prosecutors, Maureen Comey, she also said the government is condensing its case. Will soon inform the court and defense which witnesses moved. So they're narrowing their case in. They're condensing the case. 3 hours ago, prosecutors want a juror removed. We have Chloe Maylaw, so take it with a grain of salt. This weirdo does not always tell the truth, it seems, in my opinion. Yesterday, prosecutors sought to remove one of the jurors, juror number 6, who Diddy's lawyers claim is among the panel's Black members. It's not exactly clear what's behind the prosecution's request, but they did cite a lack of candor. We were very reluctant to put in this letter. It appeared to be a lack of candor with the court that raises serious issues with us, the prosecutor said to the judge. We did not want to do this. We were compelled to do that. Here's what Jane said yesterday. Jane testified on her 5th day on the stand yesterday in forceful cross-examination. Diddy's lawyers sought to recast freak-offs as consensual trysts, citing times when Jane texted Diddy that she was having fun, and an instance when she initiated hotel nights. Yes, Jane said, that was my suggestion. COMBS Diddy was excited about that. At one point, she broke down in tears as loving messages between her and Diddy were read out loud in court. She said, quote, "I resent him or how much I loved him, and I couldn't say no to him." She also testified she was upset Diddy spent time with rapper Young Miami and Turks and Caicos. Seeing photos of them together was a really painful experience, especially given how she had tried to satisfy him with the hotel nights. An hour ago, Diddy's back in court wearing the same orange sweater from yesterday. When he walked into the courtroom, he hugged members of his defense team. That's weird. He's wearing the same outfit that he wore yesterday. Maybe he sent everything else off for dry cleaning and didn't come back yet. Setting ground rules. This was 12 minutes ago, NBCnews.com. Setting ground rules for Jane's testimony. Testimony today. The government wants to bar or limit the number of text messages. Not the number of text messages. It was the specifically a voice note. In late 2023 and 2024, saying he knew he was in legal jeopardy in the wake of Cassie's lawsuit. So it's interesting here because both parties were trying to get in evidence of the same type, and both of them were relying on the same argument to try to get it in, and respectively switched positions on the other side. So, like, to put it simply, the government wants to put in stuff from after Cassie filed her lawsuit. Diddy wants to put in stuff from after Cassie filed her lawsuit. So it's hard to argue for yourself in one way and against yourself in another way whenever it's the same issue. Is this evidence motivated by, something else other than the truth, like a lawsuit? Are you trying to create evidence? Are you trying to, like, both sides are trying to get evidence of both types in? And the judge appeared to decide the same thing on both. He kind of met in the middle on both. Diddy wanted to make self-serving statements that hotel nights and freak-offs were completely consensual events. But preemptive legal strike, as preemptive legal strikes. So he was, again, trying to create evidence. And I've tried to create fake evidence against me as well. Go check out the Vaccine Defamation playlist. The defense has attacked Jane up and down by trying to show that she agreed to these acts using Diddy's messages as alleged proof, the prosecutor said. But the judge is leaning toward prosecutors and ruling against the introduction of at least one of the allegedly self-serving voice notes from Diddy. So he did rule against that. I think he's going to decide on Jane. I think he's going to decide on both, like, as it comes up in trial, which is what he should do, because you don't know how it's going to come up yet, or if it will, etc. The judge, both sets of lawyers, and an attorney for Jane left the courtroom to us something. NBC be like kind of reporting a little bit fake news. And it doesn't surprise me that Chloe Malos, the lead Mockingbird shill in chief over there, in my opinion, she will just roar for people, in my opinion. Like, she's like too linked in with Jones Works in them, in my opinion. Okay. Judge to rule an hour. The judge is supposed to rule on the prosecution's call for a juror's dismissal. In a surprise move, prosecutors moved yesterday to dismiss Juror 6, arguing that he had behaved with a lack of candor with the court. Diddy said it was racism. They just trying to get rid of this black juror. Defense is now expected to submit a response today before the judge rules on the matter and we can get back to Jane. The lawyers were due at 8:30 local time, and then the proceedings would get underway at 9, which they did not do. I don't think they still got underway yet. An hour ago, the judge was back on the bench, and then we had that update. Judge blocks Diddy's lawyers from being able to play Diddy's 2023 audio message. And this is just putting it another way. The prosecution had argued Diddy was aware of the record of communication he was creating at that time because Cassie had already just sued him. 13 minutes ago, the judge is meeting with prosecutors, Diddy's defense attorney, and Jane's attorney in the robing room. Okay, so Jane's attorney went back there. This might actually be about the journalists and the YouTube, etc., in the courtroom. It's unclear what they are discussing. Diddy is huddled with his other attorneys at the defense table. But if Jane's attorney went back there, it's got to be about the thing that he submitted, kicking YouTubers out of the courtroom. And it is like Inner City Press said yesterday that it is becoming a little untenable. And I have to agree with him. Like, it's just a little bit unmanageable. Like, the judge can only really control in his courtroom. He can't control what the public is doing out here. If the public wants to come out there in the public, I'm not doing it. And I've made it very clear on this channel, do not. But if people in the public want to try to figure out who Jane is and want to make guesses, there is nothing against the law about that, and truly no jurisdiction that the judge has over a member of the doing that. It does suck. I understand that it's not a good thing, but like, just imagine like any judge anywhere in the world can just, or anywhere in the country can just stop people from like talking about issues of public concern. Now, is her identity an issue of public concern? Yeah, it is. Should people, you know, from an ethical and a moral standpoint, like go out and try to expose who she is and stuff? I don't think so. However, that's ethics and morals. That's not the law. So Inner City Press, he's keeping up with the timestamps. Look, 9:53, they're still in the robing room. 9:59. Lawyers, including the lawyers for a lawyer for Jane, are all in the robing room. Diddy has been taken by marshals back into the holding cell. Bathroom break? And on what topic would witness Jane's counsel be getting to play? Or so play. I don't know what that means. As the jury waits. It has to be these journalists. It has to be the anonymity thing. 10:05 a.m. The lawyers are back from the robing room from their secret society meeting. And now Agnifo and Brian Steele are huddling around Diddy, talking with him. A decision to be made? Question mark. What's going on? Okay. 10:08 a.m. We're getting real-time updates from inside the court from Inner City Press. Shout out to him. 10:08 a.m. Xavier Donaldson goes from to the back table to talk with Diddy. So Diddy's at the back table. His other lawyers are sitting in front of him, I guess. I would like to see how the courtroom is set up. Actually, there was a video I was watching the other day that was like, we're inside a courtroom exactly like the one Diddy. I'm going to go and try to find that because I want to know like how those tables are set up with all them 5011 lawyers. So Xavier Donaldson then got up and went to Diddy to talk to Diddy. Agnifo is in the front talking with the assistant attorney, but Jane is still not on the witness stand. This was 2 minutes ago. Let's go to Washington Post and see if they have any updates there. It's all popping off, y'all. If anybody watches Survivor, doesn't this kind of feel like those Survivor episodes? They're at the tribal council and then they're all like deciding right there, like, and they're like, just like, it kind of feels like that. And you're just sitting there in the audience, like, except we're not the audience, we're the public and we're supposed to know what's going on. Okay, so we're just waiting for updates still. Oh, here. From inside. Lisa, I think that was found in a subsequent search of the New York hotel when he was arrested, if I recall correctly. I think. Shout out to you, Megan Young. I wish Laura Smith a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Laura Smith. Thank you for the $5 super chat. 62 years young. Love listening when I work out. Shout out to you. Thank you so much, Mimi. Thank you so much, Mimi Lightseer. P.I. Sarah. You do Diddy readings? I need to go over there. I love watching Diddy tarot readings. I cannot explain it. I will be down the Diddy tarot readings rabbit hole. I'll be watching videos that have 32 views on them. It's just, I don't know. It's just fun. I love it. Thank you for the $1 super chat. Thank you, Lady Jay for the £5. Every little bit counts. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. For your amazing coverage on the trial so far. You have an amazing singing voice. Thank you so much. Shout out to Mimi. Another super chat. Mimi are really blessing me. Thank you for that $5 super chat. Mimi said, I had a dream. That surprise witness and Mims giving me Diddy updates in my sleep at a conference for content creators. Put it out there because I would do that. I would do that. I would definitely do a update with Mims at a conference for content creators. Thank you so much for that $5 super chat. Thank you, as Asphyxia, for the $2 super chat. I know the stream is glitching. I can't help it. Sorry. Thanks so much to Shoshana, watching daily from Montreal. Shout out to Montreal. Love those bagels. Look forward to hanging out with you every day. You're amazing. Laissez le bon temps rouler. That means let the good times roll, everybody who don't know. Laissez le bon temps rouler. And that's Cajun French pronunciation. I don't know how they say it, in real French. Thanks so much for the $6.99 Canadian. Thank you, Dion Davy or Davi. Girl, you are so dope. Thank you. Thank you for that $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Jesse, for the 10 euros. It's raining this side, Dublin, Ireland, but working from home, so I can't complain. Hubby is laughing at me with my 2 headsets, one for work and the other I'm listening. See, this would be me. I'll be so distracted if I was listening to this all day. Thank you so much for that 10 euros. Oh, ring the bell, rebuke. I rebuke the glitch. The glitch has been rebuked. We'll see if it works. Thanks so much for the $5 at Amber TSW. I don't know what they're trying to hide. That's the point, Paige. Thank you for the $1.99. And truly, I don't even know if they're like genuinely trying to hide anything, but it doesn't matter if they are or are not. We supposed to know what they're talking about. Thank you for that $1.99 super chats. Okay, let's see. Y'all, now Nicole Westmoreland is surrounded by 5. Okay, now Nicole Westmoreland, I think she's probably been the crowd favorite from the Diddy trial so far as all the lawyers, even though she's, might be going to hell. I don't know. Thankfully, I'm not the one in charge of deciding if people are going to hell or not. And truly, we might be in it. This might be it right here. Anyway, the crowd favorite, I would say, Nicole Westmoreland. Now she's up with Diddy. Diddy is sat down surrounded by 5, 6 lawyers, and they're all talking, and Diddy's gesturing with his hands. The jury has still not been brought in. It's 10:15 or 10:11 a.m. They're all talking to Diddy, and Diddy's gesturing. Is this to do with the outlets? Is this to do with the YouTubers? Is this to do with the juror? The suspense has me on the edge of the seat. Vic's got an opinion, said Mim says Diddy caught hiding evidence. I think that's a different phone. I think we're dealing with 3 different phones right now. Thanks so much for that $2 super chat. Vic's got an opinion. Shout out to Zoe Rose, gifting 5 memberships. Woo, making it rain with the members this week, y'all. Thank you, Megan Young, becoming a member. Shout out to Virginia Martinez for the $2 super sticker. Thank you, Lakaya Britton, for the $4.99 super sticker. Shout out to you. Punch Bowl Puppy, member for 5 months. Love your coverage. Shout out to you. Thank you so much, Nicole Baker, for the $19.99 super sticker. Thank you so much. Thank you, Candy's Life, for the $5. Thank you, Queen, for getting me through this one. Girl, y'all got to get me through. Elaine said, oh, I know what he's doing. He is giving them the "you're not getting tired on me" talk. Let's finish strong. He's saying, let's finish. Come on. Let's finish strong, Diddy's saying to his lawyer. I don't know. I'm just making that up. I'm just playing. Thanks so much, Megan, for the 99-cent Australian. Shout out to you. Yeah, y'all, that serpent in the rainbow is out there. Thank you so much, Faye. Thank you, Miss Faye B. Been loving your stream of this trial and your content overall. Sending prayers of Psalm 91 over you. Woo, girl. That gave me the chills. As you shine light on darkness. Amen. From Nola. Oh, shout out to the 504. Is anyone the oh, definitely. Oh, my Sunday school teacher would be mad at me. Psalm 91 is the shadow of death, the valley of the shadow of death, or is that one the one I'm always reciting? 1,000 may fall at my side, 10,000 at my right hand. Yes. Oh, I love this one. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely He will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness. This is my favorite part right here. Nor the plague that destroys at midday. 1,000 may fall at my side, 10,000 at my right hand, but it will not come near me. You will only observe with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. If you say the Lord is my refuge, yes, indeed. Keep praying it. Thank you. Thank you. I do love that one. That's probably like one of my favorite Bible. And also, don't cast your pearls before swine. I love that one. Also, when Jesus flipped over a table because the money changers were changing money in the temple, I love that part too. They say an amen. Amen. There it is. More have come together. Yes, they have. Thank you so much, Megan Young. Get to bed. Don't you got to work tomorrow, girl? 12:15 in the morning. Thank you for that $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Shout out to the 504 in the chat. Okay, let's see if anything else has happened yet. Thankfully, Inner City Press is giving us a few updates as to, little things going on here and there. Now they're all just doing the huddling, playing like they own Survivor, and they didn't. They're about to vote. What's going on in here? There at a Jazz Life said, Namaste. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Hrim Sri Gurubhyo Namah. Om Hrim Sri Gurubhyo Namah. Night chat. Good night. I don't know what to do out here, y'all. I mean, it's just nothing's happening there. I'll just all have for secret meetings. Should I do a poll? What do you think they're talking about? Let me do a poll. Y'all can vote. And we can see, should I play the Can We Move On song? Oh, wait, no, I did that. Hold on. Oh, gosh, Mims? What is Mims about to do? Warning to all content creators. Look at this. Warning to all content creators. Diddy just got caught hiding evidence? What? That's crazy. He hasn't started yet. I'm going to make a poll. I'm making a poll. Start a poll. Well, maybe I should start a Q. No, because the Q&A, I think. Okay, what are they arguing about? Not arguing, I should say. Whispering. Juror 6. Content or whatever. What would identity. YouTubers. And then I'm going to add an option and say something else. Comment in chat. What y'all think they doing? Over to Rabbit, see what she's saying. It's the mobile phone where he confesses something. You think they're still talking about that? Michelle, what? But Michelle, I think they're talking about the phone Diddy found, those voice notes. Well, they already talked about that on the record this morning. So why would they need to go off the record and be whispering about things? It was like, seems like that was all already decided. Let's see if any other. Jane has not even come out yet. Oh, CNN. Oh, the lawyers went back to the judge's robing room. Breaking news. Less than a minute ago, CNN.com. Lawyers, y'all, it is drama. Lawyers return to the judge robing room. Lawyers are retreating once again to the robing room. Diddy's sons have arrived, as noted earlier. His sister, Diddy's sister, Keisha, is in the courtroom. A recap, court activity today has consisted of the lawyers talking with the judge in either the courtroom or the robing room. The jury has not come in. No witness has taken the stand today. The judge this morning ruled that an audio that Diddy sent to Jane cannot be admitted. It's from December 2023, the month after Cassie's lawsuit. But the defense, Diddy's lawyers, may ask Jane what Diddy told her about his awareness of her feelings regarding nights. Hotel nights were sexual encounters involving a male entertainer. Let's start from the beginning of their coverage today. I just left CNN out. Y'all, I was like off to a rock start this morning. Look, an hour and 23 minutes the judge has been on the bench. It's 10:23. Court was supposed to start an hour and 23 minutes ago. They still in the robing room. 44 minutes ago, and again, because they're just still in the robing room, let's just read through everything that's been posted today. Lawyers debate text message before jury comes in. The jury came in. The lawyers debated more text messages that defense attorney Teeny Garagos wanted to show the jury. Those messages are between Diddy and Jane. And this will be her 6th day on the stand. This has to be like, how long was Cassie on the stand? I think she was only on the stand 5 days. Jane dated Diddy from 2021 to 2024 and is referred to in the indictment as victim 2. She began her testimony under direct examination June 5th. Today's the 12th. Cross-examination began Tuesday. Judge bars defense from playing Diddy's audio message. Teeny Garagos wanted it. And what does it say? Okay, we get some more insight, some more details, some more context on what actually was said in the infamous voice note they've been arguing about all morning. And what was actually said was something along the lines of Diddy saying he never knew about how Jane felt about hotel nights. So the month after Cassie sues Diddy, he sends Jane a voice note and says, "I never knew you like it." And then Jane's like, "I didn't like it 98% of the time." Okay. The judge ruled that the recording cannot be admitted. However, Teeny Garagos can ask, she's allowed to ask, on the stand during the cross-examination, what Diddy actually told Jane about his awareness of her feelings regarding the hotel nights. 48 minutes ago, this whole robing room nonsense with the sticky notes started. Judge and attorney in robing room is the lead counsel. Super secret society meeting back there. I don't know if they was doing the skull and bones rituals or what. 35 minutes ago, CNN.com. Combs huddles with some of his lawyers while others are with judge. Right. So when they were in the robing room in the back, the 3 defense counsel, Teeny, I think Agnifo went back there, maybe, and Maureen, plus the judge. They're all back there. And then Diddy's up here huddling. He's been talking intensely with 3 of his lawyers while his other attorneys, prosecutors, and Jane's attorney have been with the judge in the judge's super secret robing room. Diddy's sister Keisha is in the courtroom, so only one of his family members to attend today. 15 minutes ago, lawyers returned from judge's chamber. The lawyers returned from their huddle with the judge in the robing room. Diddy was conferring with his attorneys, waving his hand. Maureen, look at this. Assistant U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey walked over to her team and smiled and shrugged her shoulders. She eventually called over defense attorney Mark Agnifo, later joined the huddle around Diddy. Jane's lawyer was conferring with the prosecutor. So who's with who? Who's on whose side? We have Maureen Comey. She's the feds. She's over to the feds. She smiles and shrugs. But then she calls Agnifo over, Diddy's lawyer. Then Diddy's lawyer went back to Diddy and huddled with him. All the while, Jane's lawyer, this is a witness, Jane's lawyer, the lawyer for a witness, he's over there with the feds. Now he's in the huddle. This was 16 minutes ago. And then 5 minutes ago, lawyers returned to the robing room. Okay, let's see if what the details queens are on it. Yes, they are. Had a feeling. Wesley Parnell and Ann Brannigan are on it. Do you hear me? 3 minutes ago, Washington Post. Since the judge called both lead souls into his room more than 30 minutes ago, the floor has been buzzing with activity. Attorneys have been coming in and out of the courtroom and huddling with their teams. Prosecutors and defense lawyers are ferrying phones and papers. Oh my God, y'all. Okay, here's the scene right here. They're going to lay the scene out. Since the judge called these lawyers to his robing room more than 30 minutes ago, inside that courtroom, it is buzzing. Attorneys have been coming in and out of the courtroom and huddling with their teams. In and out of the courtroom? Yeah, robing room, courtroom. Prosecutors and defense lawyers, in and out of the courtroom, robing room. So they're leaving out, they're coming in. Prosecutors and defense lawyers are ferrying phones and papers. So both sides, the lawyers are bringing phones, they're bringing papers, they're switching, they're looking. The counsels, the lead lawyers that were in the robing room, they came back and returned to the courtroom, but only briefly, before disappearing again. The judge has been trying to keep this lengthy trial on a tight schedule. The fact that so much time has been dedicated to whatever this issue is piques interest. Diddy appears visibly upset. Breaking news. Diddy appears visibly upset. He appears visibly upset. Full moon madness. I don't think it could be a plea. I see a couple of y'all asking about a plea. No. Could be. I think, Rochelle, I agree with you. I think it's the phone or the juror. I think most likely. No. I think juror or not the phone. Hold on. What was the other thing I thought it could be? The identity, the anonymity, the anonymity. Like the judge kicking out a YouTuber, or whatever, kicking out a journalist or something like that. I think it's something like that. I don't think it's that someone flipped. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Y'all could be right. Kimba said, stressed. Sarah is busting out her tiny violin. What thing? Cece said he and female number 1 went thing, and it's on the phone. What thing? You think this is what they talking about? It is suspenseful. Foxy Nyla thinks it's that Diddy got caught hiding evidence. Did KK flip? I mean, all this stuff could be true, y'all, but what? I agree with Washington Post. This right here. The judge has been trying to keep this lengthy trial on a tight schedule. The fact that so much time has been dedicated to whatever they're back there doing is the issue. It's like, maybe the stuff y'all are saying is, right. Maybe it's true, but like that, it just doesn't make sense to me that they would be doing this. Like, the judge is very aware. I think it's probably most likely I think it's got to be the jury, or says the jury's time. So what are two things that are like important enough to cut into the jury's time? I mean, there's a few things, but one of them would be if one of these jurors got to go. Why are we going to keep a juror on this? Why are we keeping a juror on this jury who needs to be kicked off? We don't need him to sit on this jury one more day. That's an important reason. I think the judge may actually say we have to figure it out before we can call the jury out. Another issue is there's someone in this courtroom right now who's causing harm, who's causing whatever, etc. And that's an issue of safety or whatever. That could be a possible another reason. I could also be off base. I'm just guessing. Okay, 1 minute ago, we get another update. Diddy was very animated during the court's extended break. It's unclear. He was very animated. Breaking news, he was very animated. Ooh, look at this, y'all. Breaking news. It's unclear what's being discussed in the robing room, right? The back room. But Diddy did not appear pleased as his lawyers huddled to discuss the issue amongst themselves. Wearing a yellow sweater, he wearing the same clothes as yesterday, as his stable of lawyers stood around him. I don't like the stable of lawyers. I heard Mark Leta one time. It was in an interview with Sharp the Pimp, who has rebranded and doesn't call himself that anymore. Where he was like, Mark was like, how many girls do you have in your stable? Ugh. Anyway. So Diddy's wearing a yellow sweater. He's seated at the table, and there's all these lawyers around him. He appeared to be talking passionately, gesticulating with his hands. At one point, he appeared to be tapping his fingers sequentially, as though counting out talking points. His lawyers stood sober-faced and attentive as he spoke. The lead counsel and prosecutor, as well as Jane's attorney, all returned to the robing room to meet with the judge. Less than a minute ago, lawyers emerged from the judge's chamber. The lawyers who were back there having the super secret meeting for the last however God knows how long. They said 20 minutes. They're finally coming back. A prosecutor and a defense attorney. So both sides. So they got Agnifo or one of them, and also a prosecutor together. And they are both talking to Jane's attorney. They're all talking together. Another defense attorney, another one of Diddy's attorneys, is updating. So I think probably Agnifo is over there talking to the prosecutors, and Teeny is over there telling them what they just talked about in the robing room. That's what I think is likely going on. Okay, what's going on here? Hold on. I'm updating Inner City Press. Okay. He's updating us as well. Look at that, 4444. Watch out, Jay-Z. 10:29 a.m. This is 7 minutes ago. Inner City Press said now Diddy speaking one-on-one with Nicole Westmoreland as Driscoll and Xavier Donaldson stand between the tables. This all began before 10 a.m., more than half an hour now. So just to update you on the last, how did we get here? It's all started an hour ago. The judge said, can we bring in Jane? They thought they were about to get started, 9:37. Can we bring in Jane? Your Honor, we gave you a sticky note. Can we do the sticky note motion real quick? Let's have a brief discussion in the robing. This was an hour ago. Let's have a brief discussion in the robing room. I need to adjust my mic, sorry. With Jane and Jane's counsel. I missed that. I missed that the first time, y'all. We gave you a sticky note. Let's have a brief discussion in the robing room with Jane and Jane's counsel. Teeny said, can I come too? Judge said, of course. Is this about the publications? Jane's lawyer said she was going to submit, but didn't put it on the docket. 9:53 a.m. still in the robing room, but whatever is being discussed has not been docketed despite there being a court order to do so. 9:59. So 6 minutes later, they were still in there with the judge. Diddy had been taken to the back, maybe a bathroom break. And then Inner City Press is like, on what topic would Jane's lawyers be getting so much play as the jury just sits there and waits? 10:05. Okay, they came back. Now Agnifo, Alexandra Shapiro, two of Diddy's lawyers, and Brian Steele, another one of Diddy's lawyers, are huddling around Diddy, talking with him. A decision to be made. 10:08 a.m. Now Xavier Donaldson goes from the middle to the back. So 10:08, 3 minutes later, here comes Xavier Donaldson. He's coming to talk. Meanwhile, Agnifo moves over and goes talk to the feds. We've all read this already, but I'm just going through like the last hour of tweets, which isn't even that many, to show you how it's progressed. 3 more minutes later, now Nicole Westmoreland is back talking to Diddy. He's surrounded by 5-6 lawyers talking and gesturing with his hands. Like 20-something minutes later, 11, 21, almost 20 minutes later, 10:29 a.m. Now Diddy speaking with one-on-one with Nicole Westmoreland. And then these other 2 lawyers are just hovering. This all happened before 10 a.m. And it's still going on. We'll break the news as soon as, okay. Ooh, what? Oh my God, y'all. Woo, this is crazy. I can't believe we're doing this live. 10:38 a.m. Inner City Press. He tweets this 28 seconds ago, but this is 2 minutes ago. He's putting the times on here, which I do appreciate. A moment ago, Inner City Press said, Diddy was smiling, even laughing. Now he puts his head in his hands. So what was on the Post-it note? When will it be docketed? Girl, what is on the Post-it note? The jury has still not come in. It's got to be something big. I totally agree. Thanks so much, Tom, for the £2. Hi, Cajun Crystal. They partying in the robing room? What they doing up back there? What are they doing? Thank you for that super chat. Thanks so much, Chill Murray, for the $4.99. Chill Murray said, thank you for being a continuous motivation to us truth tellers. I hope I am. We gotta lift each other up. Thank you for that $4.99. Thank you so much, Walk-In Dreamer, for the $5 super chat. Can I shout out for Isaiah 40:31? Let's see. It better not be something crazy. Sometimes the Bible be saying some stuff. I'm like, ooh, that's not necessarily the one I want to pray over my life or anything. Let's see. Isaiah 40:31. That's a good one. Okay, yeah, you can shout that one out. Let's see. It says, but those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run and not be weary. I need that one. They will walk and not faint. Thank God, I don't want to faint, girl. That's a good one. I do like that one. That one gave me the chills too. I got a little spine chill on that one. Thank you so much. Walking Dreamer, for that $5 and for that shout out. Thank you, Sylvia Gutierrez, for the $1.99 super sticker. Thank you, Donna W, for the $5 super chat. Preach. Light and darkness cannot dwell in the same place. You are light. Ting. Thank you. Thank you for your great reporting. Thumbs up. Thank you for that $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Rukia Peterson Adams, for the $39.99. Hi, from Cape Town, South Africa. You are amazing. Shout out to the South Africa cousins in the chat. Sunshine Bunny said, I think it's about the plane. Oh, sorry, the phone or the juror. I don't know why plane came out. I think it's about the phone or the juror. Thank you for that $5 super chat. I think it's about the phone or the juror, she said. Maybe the phone. Thanks so much for that $5 super sticker. Harmony is you too. Thank you, Megan O'Hara, for that $1.99. Diddy getting kicked out, nodding and shaking his head. Oh, that's a good guess, Megan. Maybe it has something to do with him doing that. But why would they be wasting the time right now? But yeah, no, you're right. That's like as important. Like Diddy can't be back in here no more. So it's like get rid of Juror 6 or get rid of Diddy. Ooh, what if it's that? Selma Adam, thank you, Megan O'Hara, for the $1.99. Selma said, I think somebody won't testify and that might lead to a mistrial. Like Jane, she's tired of testifying. In any event, doesn't look or feel good. Thank you for that 50. Thank you so much for that. Somebody said, you are a psychic. A plane went down in India. Oh, no. Was it Air India? They need to redo them planes, y'all. They need to redo them planes. Prayers to the families. Prayers to the people. Mims just went live. He said it was the phone. Let me go to Mims' page. I did not think it was the phone. See, I'm psychic, but I'm like it's glitchy. It's not a... It's kind of like, That's So Raven, that show. That's So Raven. How she would get the visions and it would be true, but it would not be what she had thought it was. It's like I'm an even worse version of that. Okay, he just went live, y'all said. No, he didn't. It said last one was 15 hours ago. Where'd he go live on? Was it on Instagram? Monica said she's doing a giveaway right now. Check out her Instagram. I'm not logged into Instagram on this computer. But if you drop the link, people can go click on it. Because every time I'm trying to go to Instagram, it's like making me sign in. I need to do my password, I have to reset it and all that stupid stuff. So everyone's saying the phone. He was live on YouTube. Oh, it was a premiere. But that's what they're arguing about?
What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense. And yo, we gotta talk about the mess going on at the courtroom and how to stop it. It's getting out of hand and people are getting exposed. Like the video's intro place, we got a lot to get into and we do not have a lot of time. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Okay.
Other content creators and who might have exposed Jane on in the courtroom. You like to hear with me.
He is so funny.
Okay, guys, so as you know, there's been a lot of drama going on in the courtroom. I avoid it because I don't really need it, but that's not the point. You all, the content creators, have been tagging me in so many videos about other content creators and who might have exposed Jane and who might have exposed me, and I get it. The problem is, and you guys, once I say it, you're going to think, wow, that was extremely simple. I don't know why I didn't think of this first. If your goal is to protect a victim or protect a witness that is supposed to remain anonymous, great. But if your goal is to get back at another content creator that you may not like, or you don't like the way that they're moving, it is extremely short-sighted to think, I'm going to put them in a video and show every time they have exposed a witness, because now you are exposing the witness. It's not.
Oh.
We all make our content. I'm usually the one that says, get it how you live. However, in this particular situation, even if you don't like the witness or you have no desire to protect the witness who should remain anonymous, what would be the point of risking your channel or getting admonished by the court?
So with him, I guess it's like he's saying He's saying that there was a content creator who has exposed Jane's identity on purpose. Then there was another content creator who made a video compilation of all the times that that person exposed Jane's identity, person A. So there's content creator A, they exposed Jane's identity. Content creator B. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm being told that they have updates on Inner City Press. Okay, hold on. We'll get it. We'll get it. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. I said this. All right. So 10:40 a.m. This was 7 minutes ago. The judge said, Teeny Garagos, are you ready to proceed? You ready to move forward? We're getting more info about what it is. We're getting more details here, context rather. Teeny, you ready to finish your cross-examination? Agnifo said, hold on. He had this discussion in the back. Diddy was not present. I would like to lodge this objection. We litigated this over pseudonyms. And I remember them litigating this over pseudonyms, and I did agree with them on one point. It isn't that I don't think that Jane identity should be protected and stuff. It isn't that. It's that it's really difficult procedurally to actually do that whenever you have all of these exhibits. And Diddy's lawyers had said a few good arguments as to why it would actually be difficult to keep Jane anonymous. One was people would be able to put details together in the public and she could be anonymous anyway. Another one was the government is going to have to spend a lot of the public's money and, time, energy, resources redacting documents, and ended up being, they were right about that argument. A couple months later, it ends up coming out. We can't even see the public, the gallery can't even see the exhibits because who knows what any of them are going to have an accidental expose who Jane is. And here's Agnifo saying, hold on, Your Honor, before we proceed, hold on, I got to lodge some objections, sir. Agnifo, Your Honor. He had this discussion in the back. I don't know who is he. Diddy was not present. Now, this is Brian Steele's specialty. Remember, he got that judge put off, recused, and then he got a new judge because of this meeting in the back. This is Steele's specialty. Agnifo said, I'm going to lodge this as an objection. We already litigated this over pseudonyms. Okay, so what does that tell us? Pseudonyms is what was discussed in the back. So the people who were guessing that this, are speculating that this was a pseudonym issue. Yeah. And the comment that I had pinned, it was like the person was saying, like, why would Jane's lawyer be back there for a phone? This is obviously about pseudonyms. It is. But the judge is like, hold on. Let's take a step back. Judge said, I can clear this whole courtroom if we need to. Agnifo said, no. No need. I'll conform my comments to an open court. Oh my gosh. So Agnifo says, I will conform my comments to an open court, Your Honor. No need to clear the courtroom out. He says, a reason trials and names are public, one reason, is so that people who were there can come forward. We objected, Your Honor. We objected to a pseudonym with Mia. And now this. So that was Mia, and now we're with Jane. Agnifo continues, the events in the hotel room, January 24th, 2024. This is weird, y'all. I need more context. Agnifo is just going on. He's preaching, y'all. He's in church. He's preaching. Your Honor, he had this discussion in the back. Diddy wasn't back there for the discussion. I would like to lodge an objection. We already litigated over pseudonyms. Then the judge said, oh, hold up. I'm going to stop you right there, buddy. Mr. Combs wasn't present. I can clear the courtroom if you want me to, Agnifo. No need. But let me just make my objection on the record for the press, probably, and for the appeal. A reason, Your Honor, trials and names are public. Names. Reason trials and names are public. So again, they want to reiterate Jane should have been public. Her name should have been public. Now, do I agree with him? No, I don't know. I got to hear his arguments. I'm just telling you. Sometimes I kind of get in a little character, just kind of like be like, this is what they're arguing. It doesn't necessarily mean I agree. He's like, no. Don't clear the courtroom, Your Honor. I'll make it to where I can say it public. Okay, I'll make it to where. I just turned in a DIDDY. The DIDDY demon possessed Mark Agnifo. Agnifo says a reason that trials and names are public is so people who were there can come forward. We objected, Your Honor, if you recall, to Mia using a pseudonym. Now the events in the hotel room, January last year, I appreciate the balancing, but we maintain the constitutional right to a fully public trial. We didn't consent to these events not being fully public. So what was January 24th, 2024 in the hotel room? This is 3 months before Diddy's raid on his houses. This is 2 months after Cassie's lawsuit. Rashonda, I think this is what I'm kind of feeling as well. Rashonda said maybe the rapper, that party with the celebrity rapper. There was some stuff that happened in a hotel room, y'all, in January last year. We didn't consent. Agnifo is saying we did not, Your Honor, just to put it on the record, we never consented to these events not being public. We want them fully public. Part of the public nature of the trial is for the information to reach the public. He's right. He's right. He's preaching. One of the reasons why the public, other than the public has a right, one of the reasons upholding this public right is so other witnesses can come forward, whether good, whether bad. I wanted my client to hear this. Wow. The judge looks over to the prosecutor and goes, "What do you have anything to argue or to add?" Assistant U.S. Attorney said, "As long as your answer remains no, I don't have nothing else to add. If you're trying to say yes, like if you're still siding with us, no, nothing to add." She then does add something. Oh. Y'all, I don't know whose side I'm on. Truly, it's very, very, and I don't see why it's taken so long, because it's like, you have to balance. You have to balance. Sometimes there's like cut and dry stuff. Public has the right to seeing what's in a trial. But then there's other interests that come. You have to balance. You put on a scale. So now we have two rights at issue. This one right here, Agnifo makes a great point. He does. He makes a great point. But then the prosecutor argues back a great point in response. So I don't even know what side I'm really on. Part of the public nature, just to remind you, the most recent argument from Agnifo, part of the public nature of the trial is for the information to reach the public, so other witnesses can come forward. I wanted my client to hear this. The prosecutor said, "Your Honor, their argument to say the name, they want to say the name of someone, maybe it's Jane, maybe it's someone else, like the rapper. Remember, she was like, I went to a party, I flew on a plane, there was a rapper, it was platonic, but then Antoine was having relations with somebody in the hotel room when we were all in there." The assistant U.S. attorney said, "Your Honor, their argument to say this person's name is an attempt to harass that person." The judge said, "Okay, and this event in the hotel room, this isn't one of the alleged acts of ST, right?" It's just collateral. It's just another side story, a side plot. It's not really a concern. The prosecutor said, yeah, and also the identity of the people that were at that Hotel S party is not a defense for Diddy. It's not a defense. It doesn't help him in any way. Okay, so Inner City Press tweets 1 minute ago. He says, while we now wait for Jane to come out, this issue of identifying a cooperating witness, bringing forth rebuttal testimony from those who learn about it through the press, already came up in this other book, this other case that Inner City Press wrote a book about. Okay, so there's a lot of missing parts. There's a lot of missing pieces in this story right now. Hopefully, as the next few minutes goes on, these other outlets start to piece together some of what just happened and what they were really arguing about. And maybe we can kind of get an idea as we read across through the different sources. But remember, Diddy was pissed. He was mad. Anne Brannigan from the Washington Post said, at this point, the jury still hasn't entered the courtroom and we are running an hour and a half behind. Whatever the court is discussing, it is no small matter. The two sides are back, huddled up amongst themselves, and it's not clear when the testimony is going to pick back up. 11 minutes ago, Wesley Parnell, Washington Post said, Mark Agnifo. What? Mark Agnifo, Diddy's lead attorney, just made a Usain Bolt style arm gesture in the courtroom. The other defense attorneys are laughing, and Diddy himself even cracked a smile. Prosecutors are huddled at the lectern, and the audio-visual engineer for the courthouse was called in to set up special headphones for lawyers to listen to evidence. It is a roller coaster on the courtroom floor, and no one is quite sure what has just happened. What is a Usain Bolt style arm gesture? Oh, this. Why would Mark Agnifo do that in court? That's weird. We have an update from NBC. NBC just decided not to cover any of that roving room stuff. I don't trust this outlet too much, to be honest. The reporters are probably fine, but what they actually allow to be posted and not, I don't know, girl. I don't know. Jane took the witness stand. Okay, she's back on the witness stand. 4 minutes ago, Jane's back on the witness stand. So whatever they were having the issue with has been resolved. It seems to be that Diddy was trying to expose the names of some people. His argument, and I do see where Mark Agnifo was coming from. Mark Agnifo said, Your Honor, we need this to be public because if there was people there, they might come forward and help Diddy to make a case for his trial. Oh, they do mention it a little bit. Look at this paragraph. Jane took the witness stand following a lengthy closed-door delay to hash out ground rules for her ongoing cross-examination. Defense attorney Mark Agnifo, without revealing the specific nature of his side's disagreement with the judge's evidentiary ruling, said that he fears Diddy could be denied his rights to a totally public trial. Donna said they're hiding the others involved, but it doesn't matter. They're all going to come out. I think they are. I think they're trying to protect the identity of these like other rich, powerful people. Thank you to Lennon too for the $10 super chat. Thank you, BJ. So glad I found your channel. Great coverage, and I love your spirit. You're now my fave. Oh, thank you. Thanks so much to Esty for the 1790. Thank you so much for your hard work. Very appreciated. Thank you so much. Thank you, Guava Berry Moon, for the $4.99 super chat. Doesn't our witness have a plane to catch? Yes, she does. Thank you for that $4.99. Thank you, Alice, for the $1.99 super chat. Rapper hotel party in Vegas was January 2024. Thank you for that. Yep. They want Diddy's side wanted to out these rappers, and the judge said, you can't. Thank you for that $1.99. Okay, y'all. 11:02 a.m. All rise. Court is now in session. Judge says to the jurors, jurors, I apologize how long this took. The judge says to the jury, this is such a mystery, y'all. The judge says to the jury, we did things to save you time. He's like, sorry how long that took. We were actually doing stuff to save you some time. Jane, you're still under oath. Proceed. Taney says, good morning. Let's look at your message where you said, I feel as your lover, I wanted to please you. Pushed through. Isn't it true that what you really wanted was the cuddle with Diddy? Jane said, well, I wanted our intimate time. Tell me about the mobile TV you got him. Jane said, it was an LG, cordless. You can move it around. Question, move it around and see your movies on it. Isn't that right? Jane said, yes. What the hell just happened? They just not going to tell us? The prosecution witness, known as Jane, is now returning to the stand, and the jury will be ushered into the courtroom soon. Testimony is starting nearly 2 hours. This is Ann Brannigan, Washington Post, behind schedule on Thursday. So Jane may be on the stand through at least part of the afternoon. What were they just now arguing about? Wait, let's see if this is...
I'm in the courtroom. I sit and I listen after things are technically over and the jury has left and the witnesses have left. And basically what they are saying is there will eventually be investigations. See, whatever they do now sets a precedent for later on. For any of you who want to cover these court cases,
yes,
cannot move.
That's another thing too, y'all, because we're in kind of a frontier of content creators. Like, you know, there's news organizations that hire content creators and they put them out here as if they are just random people on the internet, stuff like that. And it's kind of starting to merge, right? Some people are like actually doing like a journalism function, like they are the press. Some people are just doing opinion commentary. You know, it's hard to categorize. And so legally, there hasn't been a lot of precedent set on this issue. But they are actively trying to set precedent. And I believe that is who funded the lawsuit against me. I think that they miscalculated because they didn't think I was going to hire a lawyer, and they thought they were going to be able to cite to a federal case to say, look, in Yevremovich versus Corville, the court decided that a YouTuber cannot plead blah, 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 da, 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 and it is defamatory if you da, 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 and it is like, I think they were trying to do that because they were pissed when they found out that I actually hired lawyers. They thought I was going to do it by myself. They had law school presidents. They had people who had been, Neville Johnson has been talking about YouTube and content creation not being held to the same standards as like the New York Times for years. Like 11 years ago, he was doing speeches about this. He was one of the lawyers that tried to sue me in that federal case on the behalf of somebody. I believe that these are lobbyists. These are lobbying groups that are paying to push these legal campaigns. And here, this case is going to set a precedent. There are absolutely paid actors planted in this courtroom, pretending to be YouTubers, pretending to be, you know, content creators, but really they're actually backed by huge corporations and they're running PR for them. So it is kind of like, you know, a weird gray area. And so what Mims is saying, I completely agree. He's like, this case is precedent setting. It is like the trial of the century, but it also has all these content creators, and some of them are being actively like harassing, in my opinion, of Jane, in my opinion. Okay. So where is the line? It hasn't been decided.
You can't move so reckless. Again, if you are choosing to make videos of someone exposing a witness, you have just exposed the witness
right.
to your own subscribers.
Right.
So what would be the point? Moreover,
however, I don't think this is specifically what they were in the robing room about. I think what they were in the robing room about was the events that took place in January 2024. Okay, a minute ago, thank God, we get a little more context. I've been confused. 1 minute ago from CNN, the judge upholds his ruling, barring disclosures of identities from the January 2024 hotel encounter. They do not want it to be said in court what the rapper, who the rapper and his girlfriend were, who they were, he was having relations with in the room. Defense attorney Mark Agnifo asked to put it on record that they had an objection to a ruling that the judge made in the robing room. Okay, so he made a ruling in the robing room. The judge said, okay, fine. I can clear the courtroom so we can discuss the matter openly for Diddy to hear. Agnifo said, no, that's not necessary. Agnifo emphasized the importance of a public trial, noting that public proceedings can prompt members of the public to come forward with additional information. So he wants to, probably what it is somebody in that back room, somebody in that hotel room wants to testify for something for the behalf of Diddy. But they can't, because it wasn't said in open court who that is, it would look like maybe they were colluding. It would look like two set up. So that's what I think is going on. But what he's actually saying is we need to allow the names of everybody in that hotel SEX party to be public. Why? Because that will allow additional information. Members of the public, look, that could prompt members of the public to come forward with additional information about those events. He then referenced an encounter that Jane, one of Diddy's accusers, described in January 2024. Look at this. Jane testified previously, that while she was separated from Diddy in January 2024, she traveled to Las Vegas with an unnamed rapper and his friends for a birthday celebration. But during the night, the group watched a woman have relations with an entertainer known as Antoine. Jane said she never had any relations with Antoine outside of hotel nights. But when she and Diddy reconciled in 2024, Diddy accused her of cheating. Now, Mark Agnifo argued that the identities of those present at that hotel room private viewing of people having relations, he argued that those should also be revealed at trial. The identities of the people having the relations and the people watching the relations. But the prosecutor said, no, that would just be an attempt to harass and intimidate Jane. The judge said his ruling stands. He noted that this encounter from January 2024 wasn't among the alleged acts connected to the ST charges in Diddy's indictment. 3 minutes ago, Jane is back on the stand. Okay. The defense is going back. So this is NBCnews.com 1 minute ago. Jane texted Diddy in 2023 that she's processing some sort of trauma. The defense is going back to messages that Jane sent Diddy in October 2023, where she wrote to him that she was processing some sort of trauma and needed time to herself. She wrote that she wanted to please Diddy, though deep down she wanted the night to end. Diddy's attorney, Teenie Garagos, pointed to another message and asked Jane to confirm that she knew she was consenting verbally. Teenie also pointed out the fact that Jane wrote Diddy, quote, COMBS never knew she was uncomfortable. So Teenie is like, didn't you write Diddy never knew you were uncomfortable? She confirmed, yeah, I did write those messages. Okay. 3 minutes ago. Well, I guess let's read the most recent tweet from Inner City Press just to remember where we left off there. What you really wanted was the cuddle. Jane said, I wanted our intimate time. Okay, tell me about the mobile TV you got him. Jane said it was an LG cordless. You can move it around to see our movies on it. After Cassie's lawsuit went public, so this is a question. Question, after Cassie's lawsuit went public, how were things? Jane said, I came to find out that another woman had the same experience as I had. I put out that energy on him, and he was already down. So, okay. So I put that energy on him. Okay. And he was already down. So she's saying, like, the question is, how were things? How were things after Cassie's lawsuit went public? And Jane is like, not great. It was difficult. Everything was hard. He was down. He was already down. And I came to find out that another woman had gone through and experienced the other things that I had gone through and I had experienced. And I put that on him. So that energy was, I was mad. I was putting that on him. He was already down. So that compounded it. Everything was hard. It was a hard month. This is November 2023, leading probably into December 2023. And now this Twitter is going to be glitching. Great. All right, let's scroll through the other sources. Jane is on the stand. We already read that. Diddy really thought he was about to expose everybody at the SEX party. Because that's the thing. Like, Diddy does get jealous and pissed. He gets mad whenever these women who he just can, treat however, disposable. He could treat them as if they're just basically like literally call girls, like on call for him. But then whenever they break up and they go hook up with somebody else, or even if they don't even do that, even if they don't actually do that, he's like, man, you cheated. So he wanted to expose her for that hotel SEX party. Maybe that was their big mic drop at the end. They were trying to expose that person. Because remember, they were trying to argue at trial that other people have this swinger lifestyle. Was this something they were trying to do the whole time? Like, oh, we're going to talk about other celebrities that have a swinger lifestyle or whatever. Hold on. Let me do some AstroTurf management. Okay. So the most recent Intercity Press tweet was, they were having a hard month after the Cassie lawsuit. Let's play the voice note, Teeny says. Here's the voice note. It's Diddy's voice. I don't want to be in a relationship like this. I don't want to make anyone feel like this. Let's end this cycle so you don't feel like I wasted your life. Question, are there more messages like this, Jane? Jane said, yep, there are. Golly, this now is glitching. "27 seconds ago. Did he often say to you, I'm a solutions person? I just want solutions? Yes. Okay, next question. And you wrote, I took on a lot in those rooms. Please don't discredit me. And he wrote, I'll never discredit you. Yes. I'm refreshing the other sources. Ooh, they described it on the Independent. Okay, look. Attorneys returned to court an hour ago, and then they're like, attorneys back in robing room. Wait, hold on. Judge speaks with attorneys. Unclear what they're discussing. Diddy is huddled with other attorneys. Judge ended his meeting with prosecutors and Diddy's attorney and Jane's attorney. Attorneys back in the robing room 59 minutes ago. 43 minutes ago, Diddy appears upset as private talks continue. He appears visibly upset as his attorneys, prosecutors, and Jane's attorney continue to meet privately with the judge. Chaotic scene. This is 14 minutes ago. Independent, theindependent.com. Chaotic scene in the court as attorneys meet with judge. Court has been delayed nearly 2 hours as prosecutors, Diddy's attorneys, and Jane's attorney met privately with the judge. The lead attorneys for both sides went into the robing room with Jane's attorney and seemed to have discussed an incident from January 2024. As the attorneys went back and forth, Diddy was very animated, gesticulating to lawyers like he was explaining something. His attorneys stood in a huddle around him for a while. Defense attorney Mark Agnifo wanted to put on the record that trials are public for a reason. He's right. This is such a super secret trial. I never saw anything like it. If other people realize they know something, they can come forward. Early in the talks, Diddy appeared stressed. Later, he flashed a smile, snapped his fingers, and pointed at Agnifo, who then acted like he caught a football. Imagine doing the emotional management for Diddy all day. Ew. 14 minutes ago again, Jane took the stand. Okay, so this was the most recent tweet from Inner City Press. Did Diddy often say to you, I'm a solutions person? I just want solutions. Jane said yes. And you wrote, I tolerated. I took on a lot in those rooms. Please don't discredit me. And he wrote, never discredit you. Isn't that right? Jane said, yep. Okay, next question. You wrote you wanted $100,000 for each wasted year and more? $450,000. You wrote this, right? Jane said, yes. And you said you were thinking of hurting yourself and he said don't because he cared? Jane said, I don't know about that. I don't know about he cared. Okay, and you said you didn't have friends at that time? Objection. Okay, fine, I can rephrase. You said you talked about your feelings with Diddy because you didn't have other people? Jane goes, okay. She didn't say yes or no. She's just like, okay, if you say so. But Diddy still paid your rent. Yes. It's glitching. It's like not showing me the most recent. Okay. All right, so here's the line of questioning. Let's play the voice note. It's Diddy saying, I don't want to be in a relationship like this. I don't want to make anyone feel like this. Let's end this cycle so you don't feel like I wasted your life. Are there more messages like this? Yes. Question, did Diddy often say to you, I'm a solutions person? I just want solutions. Jane said, yes. And you wrote, I tolerated, took on a lot in those hotel rooms. Please don't discredit me. And he wrote, I'll never discredit you. Yes. And you wrote you wanted $100,000 for each wasted year and more, $450,000. You wrote this, right? Yes. And you said you were thinking of hurting yourself. And he said, don't, because he cared. Jane said, I don't know about that. Okay, fine. But you said you didn't have friends at the time. I mean, let me rephrase. You said you talked about your feelings with Diddy because you didn't have other people. Jane goes, okay. But Diddy still paid your rent? Yes. I'm having to like scroll to the very bottom of the. Okay, we got another one. Okay, the $9,000 from Bear. Yeah, I was wondering if they were going to push on this. Oh my God. So I think they're trying to put in that Jane was at a hotel freak off with a rapper. And I bet you this rapper told Diddy, if I had to guess. Because look, this I think ties into the conversation they were having this morning in the roving room. Look, and I can only guess. And I can only speculate because it's all sealed. But the question is the $9,000 you received from a person named Bear. You had known him from your modeling days? Jane said yes. And did you have to do any work for that $9,000? No. Girl. I need with friends like this. I need somebody to just give me $9,000 and not having to do no work. It's possible, but it kind of feels like it might have been a payment for something. I don't know. Not to side with Diddy's side, y'all. I just try to side with common sense. She's on OF. We've seen that she's obviously willing to put her feelings aside about some certain things, or at least keep them to herself if the money's right, if the price tag's right, if she gets to go to Turks and Caicos. Does that mean she deserves to be abused and things? No, of course not. Of course not. But I'm not going to play pretend like I'm stupid either. All right. I'm not going to play pretend like I'm stupid. Somebody named Bear just handing you $9,000 and you didn't do any work. Okay, fine. The next question, the rapper you mentioned, he was close with Diddy? Jane said, yep. So then they play a video and you can't hear the sound. Hold on. Oh, that was it. Okay, so then they play a video without sound and you can't see it. What's the video, girl? I don't know. Okay. We have a new update from CNN.com 3 minutes ago. Jane says after Cassie's lawsuit, Diddy told her he didn't know how she felt and he apologized. So Cassie's lawsuit comes out. Diddy says, I didn't know how you felt, Jane. I'm sorry. So Teeny Garagos returned to that time frame, December 2023, after Cassie's lawsuit was filed. Jane said she and Diddy were in contact about that time, and it was a difficult period for both of them. Quote, we were both equally pulled in our own emotional battlefields, like every which way. That's a quote. Okay, so we got a quote. We were both equally pulled in our emotional battlefields in every which way. She said she had hit a wall in the relationship and there was a lot more. And there was, quote, a lot for her to wrap her head around. She was expressing her feelings to Diddy while he was simultaneously, quote, under fire for a lot of other things. She confirmed that around that time, Diddy told her he was not aware how she had been feeling. She testified that he said he was sorry she felt that way and he did not want her to feel like that anymore. And at that time, you believed him, right? Garagos said or asked. Jane said, yes, I did. I did believe him. From that time on, Jane said Diddy started encouraging her to be more communicative with him. So to communicate her feelings more, don't feel like you can't tell me your feelings, et cetera, et cetera. Three minutes ago, NBCnews.com said, defense plays sympathetic voicemail from Diddy to Jane. The defense played a voicemail that Diddy left for Jane, appearing to show Diddy was sympathetic to her feelings after Cassie's lawsuit had hit the airwaves. Diddy said he hoped they could mend their relationship. Quote, so you can move on with your life. so you don't feel like I wasted your life, according to the message. Then he asked Jane, what will make you feel better? Love. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Oh my God. They wanted so bad to put this rapper's name in here. The rapper you mentioned, he was close with Mr. Combs. Jane said yes. Then they played a video. This rapper, they would record together. He's also an icon in the music industry, isn't he? Yes. And you went to the birthday with the rapper's wife or girlfriend. See, look, they're trying to plant. She never said wife. I don't know. I didn't read the transcript. Maybe she did. But everybody had just reported it was just girlfriend. So now it's like, oh, maybe wife. Did you know that Antoine had traveled with this rapper who is an icon who has recorded together with Diddy and is also in the music industry? Did you know Antoine traveled with them? Yes. Okay, next question. And Diddy also knew that Antoine traveled with this rapper and his wife/girlfriend? Yes. And when Antoine was having relations with the woman, how many people were in the room? 7 or 8, just watching. And the rapper was flirting with you? Jane said, yes. So they're in a room. Mims calls it the eyes wide shut, I think. They having that moment. Seven or 8 people just watching Antoine and somebody else do it in a hotel room for a birthday. For what? Oh, I bet you they have a video. I bet you they have a video and they're going to drop it. Wow. This is what's got Diddy pissed. This rapper, they would record together. He's also an icon in the music industry. You went to his birthday or the birthday with the rapper's wife or girlfriend. I don't want to give any identities away because they like made a court order, but like if this is who I think it is, that rapper also has his own lawsuits about like having S parties and like doing like debauchery in front of other people. And like people have accused this rapper of using his wife as a Ghislaine Maxwell type to like bring in other people, allegedly. I don't know. I wasn't there. And if I was there, I would have left immediately. Did you know Antoine traveled with him? Yes. And Mr. Combs knew? Yes. And when Antoine was having relations with that woman in the hotel room, how many people were in there? 7 or 8 just watching. The rapper was flirting with Jane. Question, didn't you flash your chest to the room? Who asked you to do that? Jane said, I don't know. It was just the moment. Okay, what did the rapper say to you? That he always had wanted to blank me. So he had a crush on you. Jane said, yes. But remember, she said on direct that this was just a platonic. This is one of the few things that Jane said that I was like, clocking it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. She's already told us what she was literally willing to do for rent money. Okay. No judgment and truly no shame if that's what she wants to do and how she wants to spend her time. But if she's willing to do it with Diddy, why wouldn't she be willing to do it, elsewhere? What was she doing before Diddy? Stuff like that. Truly, I don't know. I wasn't there. All right. But it was one of the things that I'm like, hold on. You went to a hotel party where they were having group sex in a room. Now we're learning you flashed your titties in there. You didn't say that on direct. You didn't. You said it was platonic with that rapper. And remember before she had said, I find the rapper's wife/girlfriend to be very beautiful. So they brought Antoine with them, who's also a S worker. He was having relations with the woman. And then she gets this random $9,000 from there for no reason. And Anton had put in a text message to her, and Diddy saw it. We saw our mutual friends the other night. So this is really painting the picture that this is a S worker. That being said, that doesn't help Diddy. It only shames Jane, or an attempt to shame Jane. It don't help Diddy, because it shows that he was paying people to do S work, S workers to do S work. Because now there's two other S workers, according to how this is being framed, Anton and Jane, who were traveling with other rappers. Remember, she brought up that $9,000? That wasn't for an accident. She re-brought that up this morning, y'all. The rapper was flirting with her. She also said that it was platonic. She was platonically in a room watching people have sex. Okay. Now it's she flashed her titties. Okay. He said he always wanted to blank me. Ooh, this is not... It is good. It actually is good. And it's also not good, because it proves that, like, the commercial purpose thing, it's like signed, sealed, delivered. So one of the whole charges, I feel like, has been totally proven out of the 3 statutes. So she's flashing. This guy always wanted to blank her. He had a crush on her. How did you bring up Cabral, aka Sly? Look at this. We did not hear this. We did not hear this on direct examination. How did Cabral Sly get brought up at the party with 7 to 8 people where you're flashing your titties and somebody said they always wanted to F you? And people are having relations and there's 7 to 8 people in this hotel room and you think the girlfriend's pretty. How did you bring up Cabral? Jane said, they asked if I knew anyone else in the lifestyle. They call anything these days, y'all. I said, yes. At the time, I thought Cabral was a safe and confidential person. Remember, Cabral ended up extorting, allegedly, according to testimony, for the $10,000. Give me $10,000, I won't release the tape. I thought he was safe and confidential. So is it Cabral who told Diddy? And you contacted Cabral for the rapper and his partner? Yes, said Jane. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is why Diddy was so mad this morning. He wanted this to be the headlines. The rapper's name. I feel like we're about to still keep finding more stuff out, y'all. How did they know to ask you? Jane should have said, I don't know. But she didn't say that. She said, maybe, she's speculating, maybe they just picked up the energy, or maybe they heard that Diddy and I were into the lifestyle. Now it's being called the lifestyle. I feel like I've been groomed through this trial. I feel like lifestyle, the lifestyle, and the word entertainer are completely, like, they don't even mean the same thing to me anymore. I feel like I've been reprogrammed by this trial. Maybe they just picked up the energy or heard that Diddy and I were into the lifestyle. Okay, question. You flew to Miami around the time of your birthday, so now we're somewhere else. So that was supposed to be that, right? Like, what did we get from this? She traveled with a rapper and his partner to a to Las Vegas. Hung out with them. Then they ended up at for somebody's birthday, and then they ended up at basically a freak off. The rapper there is saying, I've always wanted to have relations with you, flash your chest to the room. Was Sly there? Was Sly there is what I want to know. The only one we know, there's 8 people in the room, 7 or 8. Jane is one of them. Anton is one of them. And then at some point, Jane calls Sly. And you know Diddy's mad. You calling people from my stable? Oh, he's pissed. The rapper was flirting with you. You flashed your chest. You brought up Cabral because they asked if I knew anyone else in the lifestyle who would come like Anton to the room and do that stuff. That was for the rapper and his partner? Yes, it was. And how did they know to ask you? She don't know. but she speculated. Maybe they picked up the energy or just heard Sean and I were into the lifestyle. But then, okay, next thing, that was Vegas. Now we're going to Miami. So you flew to Miami around the time of your birthday. That's February. Yes. And he set up a grandiose birthday for you. There were candles on the walkway. Jane said, it was very romantic. His heart was beating. Your heart was beating too. Jane's like, yeah, I was just about to say that. It's all painted pink and silver, a 5-course dinner. It's what I wanted from my lover. No EX at the dinner, right? Jane said no. And afterward, you took a pill and he took one too, and then Don came over? Yes, this was at One Star, Diddy's One Star Island. And you said you were willing to have relations with Don because of the birthday party? Jane said, yeah, it was nice. So see, like, because there was a good, nice birthday party, Jane is admitting this. I'm not even speculating this. I'm telling you what she is testifying. She said the reason, and confirmed just now, the reason she agreed to do it with Don for the freak off specifically is because it was a nice birthday. Look, you said you were willing to have relations with him because of the birthday party. Yes. So she's telling you she will do things for nice things, and that's fine. That's allowed. It even helps prove the case against Diddy. So I don't know why Teeny is saying this stuff. We have one new update from CNN. Jane says she flew on a music icon's private jet. Somebody get the flight logs. Music icon's private jet to Las Vegas, January last year. She confirmed she went on the trip with her friend, and they flew on a rapper's private plane. She said Diddy was unaware of the trip because they were on a break. She asked if this rapper was an icon in the music industry and if he was very close to Diddy. Jane agreed. She confirmed the trip was for the birthday of the rapper's girlfriend or wife. Okay, so this was Las Vegas, January 2024. A rapper, iconic, very close with Diddy. Anyway, Sly ends up getting invited. Okay. Oh my God. 3 minutes ago, S-worker Antoine had relationship with another rapper, witness testifies. An S-worker whose name has come up often in this trial, Antoine. He was known to have a relationship, quote, relationship. They call anything, y'all. With another rapper and his wife. So now we're saying wife and not girlfriend. Again, NBC, take with grain of salt. They're always kind of divergent. Whenever there's divergent reporting, it's often NBC. Do with that info what you will. But look, relationship. Is that a relationship? Is that a relationship? Is that an entertainer? I mean, I guess anything can mean anything, but like, you see what I mean? Jane and Diddy had known in early 2024. So what was this? January 2024. So both of them by that point, by the time this like S party in the hotel room happened, Jane knew and Diddy knew that this Anton guy was a part of a relationship. He would do freak offs with this unnamed artist. This is, they were trying to get this artist to be public today. Okay, we get more details about that Vegas trip. This is CNN.com less than a minute ago. Jane testifies about interactions with rapper on 2024 Vegas trip. Jane continued to testify about the January 2024 Las Vegas trip in which she flew on a rapper's private plane. She testified that she and Diddy both knew before January 2024 that Antoine, the entertainer, whom she and Diddy hired for hotel nights, would also travel and spend time with this other rapper and the rapper's significant other, Antoine told Jane. Antoine had told them, so he snitched. Anton, is it Anton or Antoine? I've seen it spelled both ways. The reason they knew that this S worker would go and do this with other people, other rappers, other couples, this has to be the couple that Diddy was trying to get in earlier before trial actually started, like pre-trial stuff. He was trying to show that other famous people are in this, quote, lifestyle. So again, like, Jane is kind of helping to build the narrative that this is a lifestyle, but it's also hurting Diddy in a way, because I think it's showing that he was very actively participating in traveling and transporting people who he knew were S workers or would do S work for the purpose of institution. And that is what he's being charged with as one of the 3 counts or 5 or whatever. So how did they know Antoine would do these nights with the other rapper and the other rapper's significant other, wife, girlfriend, we don't know, partner, whatever? Jane said she was a little bit surprised to see Antoine at the birthday dinner, but nobody asked them how they knew each other. Later that night, 7 or 8 people were in a hotel room watching Antoine have relations with a woman on the bed. This was just for fun. Like, Jane Doe was just doing this for fun. So she said she didn't get paid for doing this. It was platonic and it was just for fun. She was watching people have relations on a bed. The rapper, Jane said, she knew him from afar, flirted with Jane in the hotel room that night. He said something like he thought I was beautiful and always wanted to blank me. That's probably the F word. Jane also confirmed, when asked, that at some point she flashed her chest around the group in the hotel room. She said it was an in-the-moment thing. Jane says, 2 minutes ago, CNN.com, Jane says a rapper and his partner asked if she knew anybody else in the lifestyle during a Vegas trip. Jane testified that while they were in the hotel room, this rapper, this mystery rapper, and his partner, the wife, the girlfriend, we don't know. It was her birthday, though. The partner, it was her birthday. So here we have somebody else being like, oh, it's my wife's birthday. Let me have a bunch of people having relations in this room. It's for your birthday, though. It's a surprise for you. Okay, whatever. If she knew anybody else in the lifestyle, she said she reached out to Sly because at that time she thought Sly was a safe person to recommend. But clearly Sly might be, in my opinion, the snitch of this situation. Defense attorney Teeny Garagos asked Jane why the couple asked her that. Jane said it was possible they already suspected she and Diddy had been involved in similar activities, or they could have just picked up on that energy from me. So this is a subtle admission she was into the lifestyle. She said it on the stand. Okay. We have 2 good updates from Washington Post. Here's one of them right here. It's actually from 22 minutes ago, but we get more information about those super secret backroom meetings. Wesley Parnell, Washington Post, he said, while Jane is back on the stand, it is still unclear what was discussed during an extended conference, but Diddy's attorney Mark Agnifo said he wanted to publicly name individuals, likely a rapper, linked to a trip that Jane took to Las Vegas January 18th and 19th, 2024. Again, more details. January 18th, 19th last year. Agnifo claimed it could lead to a new witness. The judge, slightly annoyed, offered to clear the courtroom, but Agnifo declined. Anyone who witnessed these events would be able to tell the defense if they wanted to. Maureen Comey argued, the suggestion that they need to say these names is a pretense to harass and intimidate this witness. So she's saying, bring Sly up if you freaking want to. If he's claiming he witnessed an event during this time, bring him up. Bring him out. 10 minutes ago, Anne Brannigan, Washington Post, quote, so what's the solution? Oh, wait, hold on. So what's the solution? Diddy asked Jane In December 2023, according to an audio message that the defense entered into evidence this morning, Jane said the conversation took place after she had broken up with Diddy months earlier, October. So she broke up with him in October and he got sued in November. Boop. By Cassie. Woo! She broke up with him in October and it all started hitting the fan. She was talking to him, having a conversation about feeling exploited in her relationship because of the freak-offs, which she said in text messages and phone calls she did not enjoy. This was exacerbated by Cassie's lawsuit. So she had said it in October. Before Cassie filed a lawsuit, she said it. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it. I didn't really want it most of the time. And what's the solution? So all that happened before Cassie. That's very important to point out. Then Cassie filed her lawsuit the next month. Jane said she felt that it mirrored her experiences word for word. What do you want me to do to make you feel better? Diddy can be heard asking Jane, how can we get a solution so we can all move on? I don't want to make nobody feel like this. Yep. Like I said, they're going to be putting in their hints. Defense, this is 1 minute ago, Washington Post. Defense hints at rap icon tied to Jane's 2024 Vegas trip. The defense wasn't able to name the, quote, very successful rapper who accompanied Jane, who Jane accompanied on a 2024 trip to Vegas. But Diddy's attorney certainly seemed to try to drop a few clues about who this rapper was. She referred to him as a, quote, rapper who's very close to Diddy and noted that the trip was connected to that musician's girlfriend's birthday. Moments later, the attorney referred to the rapper as an icon. The trip with the musician and his girlfriend doesn't relate to the charges Diddy is facing, but months later, this trip would cause Diddy considerable jealousy, according to Jane's testimony. She said she and the couple attended a hotel party. It's a party. It's 8 people in a hotel room, but it's a party where a male entertainer named Antoine was having public relations, if you know what I mean, with another person. According to Jane, the rapper and his girlfriend asked her privately whether she knew where they could book a male escort. Jane said she wasn't sure why they asked her. Maybe they had an inclination that me and Sean had been doing similar things. And this is after Cassie's lawsuit, by the way. The January 2024 happened a few months after that. And they were supposedly on a break. She was supposedly on a break with Diddy during this time. Diddy threw birthday celebration that felt like prom, witness says. The witness fondly recalled Diddy throwing her a birthday celebration that felt like prom. This was March last year, 2024. The party included a 5-course dinner and music, as Jane called it. She called it really sweet. The celebration was so moving that Jane said she was okay with hooking up with the S worker, Don, at Diddy's direction due to his generosity with the party. She testified she witnessed positive changes in Diddy after the Cassie lawsuit. This is 1 minute ago, NBC News. There were a number of positive changes in Diddy after Cassie filed her lawsuit, alleging he abused her in November 2023. Under cross-examination, Jane confirmed to Diddy's defense attorney that she felt closer to Diddy after that lawsuit was filed, and she affirmed the characterizations that she felt much more love from Diddy after that suit. Well, I wonder why. He had motivations to change his behavior, don't you think? Then Teenie asked Jane to confirm that Diddy became more apologetic, a better listener, and that he spent more quality time with her in that time. Jane agreed. Diddy had done all those things, and she felt she could assert herself more in 2024 than she ever had been able to do previously in the relationship. Okay. Judge rules to keep the identities. This is the Independent. Judge rules to keep the identities of people involved in the January 2024 other rapper freak off private. Judge ruled the attorneys must withhold the identities of an unknown rapper. So that must be what the sticky note was. Okay, so now after reading many different iterations of this, I think I have an idea what was on that sticky note. It was a motion. And I think it was a motion from the prosecutors to stop Teeny from being able to name names, because she named Young Miami yesterday. They were naming names. And that's why Jane's lawyer had to go back there, because Jane's lawyer had to tell her, don't say the rapper's name. There's a gag order on whoever was in this room. On the identities. The judge ruled that they couldn't say the identities because they're not relevant, because this incident isn't related to Diddy's ST charges. Diddy apologized to Jane after the Cassie lawsuit. Settled the lawsuit for $20 million. Cassie revealed in her testimony last month, she said it was a difficult period of time for her and Diddy. We were both equally pulled in our own emotional battlefields, like every which way. When Jane said she felt overwhelmed, Diddy apologized and said he didn't want her to feel that way. The jury also heard a voicemail from Diddy to Jane. He said he wanted to fix their relationship so Jane could move on. So you don't feel like I wasted your life, Diddy said in the voicemail. 5 minutes ago, The Independent said Jane describes a Las Vegas trip in 2024. With an unnamed rapper for a birthday celebration. They flew on the rapper's private jet. Diddy was not aware of the trip because they were on a break. Jane said the rapper was close. So she's like, oh no, we were on a break. And I was going to hang out with rappers while they had sex parties in the hotel. And this rapper was close to Diddy. Antoine, an S worker who had done hotel nights with Jane and Diddy, was also at the birthday dinner. And later, he had relations with another woman while several people watched. Earlier today, the judge sided with the prosecutors when they argued that the identities of the rapper and his friends should be kept private. They are trying everything they can to keep this little can of worms closed. I mean, there is so many things that they are walking on a tippy-toeing on a landmine of information. They're obviously trying to keep a lot of people's identities secret. And I don't know that it's all for good reason. One minute ago, Jane finally realized entertainer encounters would be a forever thing. She says about reunion with Diddy. She recounted a birthday celebration Diddy planned for her in Miami in February 2024. This was the first time they were together in person since breaking up October 2023. So it was like 4 months they had a break. And over which, from October 2023 to February 2024, that's when she was with that rapper and his wife in the hotel watching Antoine have relations. And giving them Sly's information. It was the first time they were together in person since breaking up in October 2023. Diddy planned a 5-course meal at the property next to his Miami residence, which is his other Miami residence, is what it should say. Covered the table with gifts and decorations. Jane described the romantic gesture as everything she's wanted from her relationship. They took EX after the dinner. Jane acknowledged that she told the defense in a pre-trial meeting she was willing to have relations. So now we're finally getting, didn't you tell us, Teeny said, didn't you tell us when we met previously, you were willing to have relations with Diddy during this time? And she said, yeah. Excuse me, not Diddy, with an entertainer, have a freak off. Didn't you tell us you were willing to have a freak off? Because Diddy did everything that you wanted for your birthday? She said, yeah, I did say that, but she also testified, quote, she, quote, realized this was just going to be a forever thing with COMBS, referring to sexual encounters with entertainers. The jury also saw texts between Jane and an entertainer named Paul. This is the trifecta. This is the entertainer, but also Diddy's personal trainer. She asked Paul if he had plans on Valentine's Day, probably trying to book him for Diddy. A minute ago, CNN.com, Jane says after Cassie's lawsuit, Combs became more loving. She noticed positive changes after Cassie's lawsuit was filed. She said there was some growth in their relationship. I felt like I could assert myself a little more, she said. She confirmed Diddy acted more loving toward her and spent more quality time with her. She confirmed that she felt closer to him and their love grew stronger. I'm dating inner city press. So just to remind you where we were in the last, where we left off with the inner city press thread. No EX at dinner, but afterward we took EX and then Don came over. You said you were willing to have relations with Don because of the birthday party, right? Jane said, yeah, it was nice. Okay. And this is between you and Paul Arthur. We got a name. Teeny's like, fine, if I can't say the rapper's name, I'm saying everybody freaking else's name. Then you texted Paul and said, do you have plans for Valentine's Day? Jane said, right. And you wanted to see Paul, didn't you? Jane said, yep. And you said after Cassie's lawsuit, you saw changes in Diddy? Yes. And you said Diddy would write to you, I'm single, I'm polyamorous, and that hurt you? Yes. And after the lawsuit, he went to saying we're in a relationship, you are my girlfriend, and that meant a lot to you? It did. So Diddy changed his behavior based on the lawsuit, which I don't think is helping Teeny at all. I don't know why Teeny is bringing this up because it just shows that Diddy is willing to change to avoid legal consequences. Now, for better or worse, good thing he changed. It is a good thing. I'm glad he changed. It was for the better, it seems. But it meant a lot to her. He's like, oh, yeah, fine. You're my girlfriend, whatever. We already know these people will call anything. So he's realizing, oh, I can't just call people entertainers. I got to call them my girlfriend. That works for me. Works for me. So next question. When you saw the video of Diddy laying hands on Cassie, you felt sick? She said, I did. It wasn't the man you knew, right? Right. Now another sidebar. It's the sidebar song. It's a sidebar song. I don't know what they tweeting about under here. Okay, let's go to Washington Post. We are up to date on Washington Post. I think we already read this one too. She said she felt closer to Diddy after the lawsuit was filed. Affirmed characterizations. She felt much more in love. She felt much more love from Diddy after the suit. Before he was cold and egotistical. So his ego had already started to get whack. It had already started to get whacked. That God complex needed to be knocked down. Better listener, more quality time. He did do all those things. She felt she could assert herself more during that year as well. "29 seconds ago, theindependent.com. Jane said there was a growth. Ooh, that don't sound good. Sound like boo-boo. In her relationship with Diddy after the Cassie lawsuit. There was growth in their relationship after she got back together with him and her birthday. He always knows he can count on the birthday. to lure her in. And she always knows she can count on them birthdays to get a present. Remember, she was getting to $15,000, $13,000, whatever, for all her friends to eat at the restaurant. But then Diddy didn't go to the birthday celebration. And then right after it, she had to go have a freak off or something. Anyway, they were on a break following Cassie's lawsuit. So they were already on a break. They were on a break in October. And then November, the lawsuit gets filed. She don't see him again until February. She needs that birthday present. But he would do the same thing to her. Where's my birthday present? When it was his birthday. They are on a sidebar. What is this sidebar about? When you saw the video of Diddy beating Cassie, you felt sick. Yes. That wasn't the man you knew, right? That wasn't the man you knew, right? Right. Okay, another sidebar. So that was the last question asked, but who called the sidebar? It was the prosecution. This is the defense. Yep, this is still Diddy's lawyers. She's still asking questions. I don't know what she's getting at. And y'all, I mean, a lot of this stuff, we can't know what she's getting at. We can't be in her mind. And so much stuff is super secret, private, back sealed, all that stuff. But yeah, okay, they're back. Yeah, but it was Diddy's lawyers asking questions. So it was a leading question. But did they object? Tara said narcs are obsessed with their birthday. April said she's maybe sending a message. Yeah, we were on a break. Okay. I don't know what the sidebar was about, but you remained in contact with Diddy after the video? Yes. And you stayed in Miami with him for a few days and then you left? Yes. So, okay. So after the CNN video came out, Jane says she stayed in contact with Diddy. She also stayed in Miami with him for a few days and then she left. Yes. And then he flew to LA in June 2024. This is after the raids. This is after the Homeland Security investigation for ST was going on. Okay, so they're just coming back from the little sidebar, so just waiting for some more updates to come out. But Teeny is now at the end of the relationship. She does seem to have gone a lot more chronological order than the prosecution did. It's just like us different styles. But she's kind of to the end of the relationship now. It's June 2024 in the questions. And it's June 2024 in these questions. And the raids on the Miami home and the LA home, which we haven't even heard from the evidence from that yet, from the LA raids. They're never going to tell us what they found in those LA raids. Wasn't that where all the tapes were? Wasn't that where all the surveillance camera footage and all that was? Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. So Jane is so Teeny is probably almost done because she's all the way up to like now the video of Cassie has come out. It's June 2024. Diddy gets arrested in September. So like this is like 3 months before Diddy gets arrested. And so, they had started this testimony from all the way back in 2020. So I think Teeny's probably going to wrap it up in the next, I would say, few minutes to maybe up to like maybe an hour. We do have a new tweet. So the last tweet that we read was Diddy was in LA with his kids, right? In June? Yes. And is it fair to say that Diddy posted about his road trip with his children on social media? Yeah, he did. And is this a photo of how you set up the house? Some say some set up by you and some set up by Jonathan. Yes. And this is a big bottle of Cliquot. Yes. I don't know what that is. Tiff Talk said, what is Cliquot? I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up off screen because I don't know what that means. Oh, it's this. It's champagne. Yeah. Got it. I've seen that before. So the video of Cassie comes out. You stay in contact with Diddy. You stayed in Miami with him even then, right? You were with him in Miami. You were with him in Miami whenever it came out. The son came, knocked on the door, told you, y'all did a huddle, all that, and you stayed with him for a few days, right? Yes. Then after that, June rolls around the next month. He comes to LA with his kids. Yes. Fair to say Diddy posted about his road trip with his kids on social media? Yes. This is a photo of how you set the house up, right? Some was set up by you, some was set up by Jonathan. Jonathan, is this the one that we're about to get testimony from next? Jane said yes. And this is a big bottle of champagne, isn't it? Yes. And this is, I think, around the time where the incident happened where they got into that physical altercation. I think this might be that time frame. Fair to say Diddy posted about his road trip with his children. Oh, wait. And this is a photo on the patio, right? Yes. You were drinking champagne, weren't you? Yes. Okay. Now it's 8:30 p.m. It's already dark outside. Tequila shots, but no EX, right? Right. And Jonathan, you say Jonathan bought the candles? Yes. Okay, just waiting for some more updates. This is a photo on the patio. You were drinking champagne, but you weren't taking EX. It was dark outside. You were taking shots of tequila, but not EX. Jonathan brought the candles. Shout out to the mods in the chat. If you want to donate to their cash apps, they are, or their different various links, they're linked in the description box. This Jonathan is going to say she's lying about this, Carrie said. Interesting. Thanks so much, Elsa, for the $5 super chat. Your reenactments lean toward your Lima voice. I know. Dingy and whispery. Cracks me up every time. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Thanks so much, the Tatted Geek. I sent you an email about a connection. You should deep dive. Thank you for your coverage. Love from the PNW. Thank you so much for that $4.99 super chat. I'm so behind on my emails, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm going to get to them eventually. Thank you, Lindsay, becoming a member. Thanks so much, Julie Sims, for the $2 super chat. Julie said the sidebar was about a new phone that was withheld. Okay, interesting. Shout out to Carolina, member for 19 months. Hey, cousins, late for court dealing with immigration stuff. Ugh. Please pray for us immigrants and people of color. Things are getting crazier by the day. Prayers. Thank you, Carolina. Shout out to you. Thank you to Jen. No, Kanye and Kim were not married at the time. No, this was long after they had divorced. Thank you for that $5 super chat. Thanks so much, Boy Mom X3, for that $9.99 super chat. Lil Dollar to help you out with all your amazing awesomeness. By the way, I'm impressed by how you line your lips so easily without even paying attention. Girl, that's talent. Well, I mean, it's because it's like very close to my same color of my lips. If it was like a very different color to my lips, we might have an issue. Thank you so much for that. Also love your eyebrow arch. I never could like really get into like the thick eyebrows. Thank you for the $9.99. I mean, I tried. I think it looks good on other people, but on me, I feel like it's giving boy. Thanks so much for the $5.90. Excuse me, the $4.99 super sticker, Mises Piece. Thank you, Lisa. Oh, Lisa said thank for that $1.99. Lisa also just said, just in case y'all were wondering, completely unrelated to anything we're talking about, Bianca Sensori was born on January 5th. It's good to know. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, please respect the mods. Thank you to Amy for the $5 super chat. Thank you to Jamila Marie. Jamila Marie, that's a cute name for the $4.99 super chat. Marie is like, I don't know, it just reminds me of like everybody in the South. Like everybody got a sister cousin with the middle name Marie, and it's just so like quintessential. Thank you for that $4.99 super sticker. Pretty plantas. And again, another $4.99. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Yeah, people can speculate. You know, maybe it could have been Kanye and Bianca. Could have been. I don't know. They didn't tell us. But it does seem like that's a good, possible guess. Thank you for that $4.99 super chat. Could be. The Wynn Hotel freaks me out. Mary, it's such a Catholic thing. That's probably why. Mary, Maria, Marta. Diddy said they're all in an open relationship. Wait. Who's paying? Oh, yeah, at least they're paying. Yeah, pay me. Anyway. I mean, I don't personally find it to be too big of a deal to try to speculate on who the rapper and the wife were, because there are public details. But I think, Jane especially, I don't want anybody trying to guess who that is in my chat, because these other people are not victims. They're not being, at least as we know, it's not being charged anything. It whatever. I do think people should be able to do private stuff in their own bedrooms, but is it private if there's 9 people in the room? It's just things to think about. We're going to be hearing from Jonathan, Diddy Docket said. Yeah, that's what I thought. Look, this guy. He was the one that apparently bought the candles. He apparently was the one that was there. The night of the one like violent altercation that they did have that one time. Jane and Diddy. Oh. Before the court took a lengthy sidebar, it's been a day full of private lawyer talk. Jane was asked about her reaction to the video of Diddy attacking Cassie at the Intercontinental Hotel. She's been testifying under an alias to protect her identity. So they must be still at the sidebar. Because look, took a lengthy sidebar. It's been a day full of private lawyer talk. Jane was asked about her reaction to the video of Diddy attacking Cassie at the hotel 2016. Jane, who has been testifying under an alias, said she was shocked by the video and that she actually helped him to come up with what to say after. She also confirmed that Diddy attempted to go into a rehab program, but he was not allowed. But she was not allowed to answer a question about whether the program accepted him. Diddy was going to rehab, and then there was a question, and did the rehab accept him? But Jane was not allowed to answer. CNN gives their take on it. She confirmed she was shocked. She had never seen him act like that before. Diddy's lawyer asked if Diddy had tried to get into a program to address his actions in the video. Jane said she did recall that he did try to get into a program. So it was after the video came out. Remember when Diddy came out and said, I went to therapy. I got treatment. he got treatment after the Cassie video came out to the public last year. It wasn't like, oh, right after that incident, 10 years, 9 years ago, 8, whatever, I went out and I got treatment because it was so crazy. No, it wasn't until it was made public that I decided to go and do some treatment. Prosecutors objected when Teeny Garagos suggested that the program didn't accept him. So he didn't go to treatment. Did Diddy try to get into a program to address his actions in the video? Yes. Did he get in? Probably not. They had a sidebar. When they came back from the sidebar, and I bet you the government was like, don't do it. Don't open the door unless you want Diddy to come sit on the stand and talk about his rehab program. After the sidebar was over, Teeny moved on from the questions about the program. Jane confirmed that the months after the Intercontinental assault video came out were very difficult. It was a difficult time. So it was a difficult time after the lawsuit came out. And then 6 months later, it became more difficult time when the video came out. He tried to go to rehab. They wouldn't even let him in. Okay, so we have some more tweets. Okay. Oh, it just clicked. Maybe the government didn't start out with this DV thing, like the violence and all that, because they already know Diddy's going to say, they already know Diddy has already been arguing, oh, it was all just DV. It was all just DV. So it's like, no, how about these like years of interactions before it was DV? And it just only turned into DV later. Hold on. This is aggravating me. Okay. Okay. So Teeny goes, play the video. It's music and Diddy's voice. It's the Boston Celtics championship. Or y'all call it Celtics, huh? Half an hour later, you were fighting, right? So they're watching the championship game and there's music, but half hour later, they was fighting. You testified you called him a PDF file, even though you knew that this person he was with wasn't underage. So Teeny's like, let's just make sure nobody's out here thinking it's a PDF file situation because this woman was nowhere near underage. This Jane is just being mad for no reason. And you also testify that you pushed his head into the counter. Jane said, I did. And you never had a physical altercation with him before, did you? No. And you pushed him medium hard? Yes. And you threw a candle at him? Yes. Which is not acceptable. That's not acceptable behaviors. That's not right. And she shouldn't have done that. Updating the sources. Update. Hegseth has declined to say whether he would follow courts if they ruled against deployment. This is aggravating. Okay, so he's tweeting about another case, girl. So the last thing from Inner City Press was this right here. You pushed him into the counter, medium hard. You had never had a physical. So they're laying it out here. Like the first physical interaction they ever had with each other was she started it, I guess, which is not good. She shouldn't have started it. But does that justify like the hours and hours and hours of like retaliation that Diddy took? According to her testimony, I don't think so. I don't think so. Thanks so much to Noe or just No for the 199 super chat. BJ, you are the best. Thank you for your coverage. Thank you for that 199. Peggy said, is it possible the rapper may expose himself once he sees the headline? I mean, could be. Amber said, let's just put it this way. If a person is an anonymous victim, or they're granted anonymity by the court, don't try to guess or speculate. Who? Oh Lord, Sarah, so true. I think you told her however she never intended to go. Social Fabrication said, you look so over everything. I'm ready for the next witness. It's been 6 days of this. Okay, next tweet. When you say you locked the door, was it a button? Yes. So he did not force a physical lock, but a button lock. Right. So what? Oh God, this is their defense. What kind of lock was busted through? All right. Okay, so what was he saying? Jane said he was saying I was crazy. A lot of yelling. Okay, next question. And then you went into the closet? Yes. This is a hard case to try to be a defense attorney on, I tell you that. And wouldn't you say that you had at least one date with him one time where there was no freak off? And wouldn't you say that he didn't always cuss you out? And isn't it true he bought you birthday presents? And the lock he busted through, well, it wasn't like the most strongest lock of all time. It was just a simple button lock that he busted through. Oh, Reagan said, we all know Diddy don't like locks anyway. I cannot wait for nothing further than this shitty cross to end. It's been almost 3 days. It's been a long cross-examination. Teeny has not impressed me. Maybe she's waiting for the final moment. Maybe it's coming any moment. Okay, we have a new update from Washington Post. 1 minute ago, Jane is now being asked about a brutal June 2024 incident. So this was a year ago. She previously described it as a date night that turned violent, which lasted hours. Though Jane had said she instigated the fight, she alleges that Diddy very quickly escalated it, chasing her through the house, kicking down doors, leaving her with multiple injuries, including a golf ball sized, including plural golf ball sized welts on her forehead, also a black eye. Afterward, Diddy allegedly forced her to participate in an FO. Defense attorney Teeny Garagos then, so they're starting Diddy's defense here. Then began, because their defense so far has just been attacking credibility of witnesses only. There really has been no defense at all. I guess maybe a little bit showing that Diddy was sometimes not an asshole. I mean, jerk. That's pretty much like the only defense has been like, you a liar, you a garden tool, aren't you? So you deserved whatever you got. And it wasn't that bad, and you kept coming back to him, so your credibility is bad. I mean, that's pretty much been the defense. But now we're going to get a little peek into what we already knew was coming eventually, which is that Diddy had a problem with drugs and alcohol. Defense attorney Tina Garagos began questioning by highlighting the, quote, magnum size of the champagne bottle they drank. Garagos says, wouldn't you agree this is twice the size of a normal champagne bottle? Jane said Diddy drank both champagne and tequila that day. We have a new update from CNN less than a minute ago. Jane says she and Diddy argued about another woman in June 2024. June 18th, 2024. She estimated that by the time the argument began, they had already consumed 2 shots of tequila and at least 2 glasses of champagne each. Jane confirmed that the woman they were arguing about lived in Miami and was able to spend more time with Diddy because she was closer to him. She also confirmed that she and Diddy had argued about this woman before. So they're not saying the victims' names anymore, the alleged girlfriends' names anymore. Remember, they would say they were just name dropping Gina, Young Miami. They were name dropping all day, every day. I think it was just a ball of emotions that night. There was a lot of just resentment for so many things. She confirmed that she called Diddy a PDF file, even though the woman was not underage. She also called him disgusting and a monster. When she felt like the fight was escalating, she went into her bedroom and locked the door. Tina Garagos asked Jane to confirm that Diddy had not touched her up till this point. But he did keep saying, "Are you just not going to talk to me?" When he kicked open the master bedroom door, she locked herself into the master bathroom inside the bedroom. She yelled at this point that she hated him and wanted him to leave and leave her alone. Jane recalled Diddy saying that she was crazy. There was a lot of yelling. Like, you're not going to talk to me? You're not going to talk to me? And she's like, I hate you. Leave me alone. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I feel like Teeny is going to drop something. It's going to be like one big boom right at the end. It's going to be some evidence. It's going to be some something right at the end. Maybe not. I could be wrong. Okay, so where we left off on Inner City Press, Jane locked the door, button lock. It was not a physical lock, a button lock. Well, a button lock is a physical lock, stupid. What was he saying? What is a metaphysical lock? It's imaginary. It's a physical lock. It's just not like a padlock. What was he saying? That I'm crazy, a lot of yelling, and I went into the closet. Next question. You take your working out seriously, right? Yes. But you didn't put on active wear, but rather a dress. Why'd you put on a dress? Okay, if you have to leave, if you're in your closet and someone's beating on the door and you're already dressed in your sensual, SUL, whatever, and you got to get the F out of there, what are you putting on? The thing that's the easiest to put on. You're going to be trying to wrangle yourself into a pair of skin tight something? You're going to be trying to wrangle yourself like a busted can of biscuits into some Lululemon leggings? Probably not. Probably not. You probably putting on a rope. You probably putting on whatever. Somebody's banging on the door. So it actually makes more sense that she just threw on a dress. She threw it over her head and ran. And she said that. She said, because I could put it on easily. Oh, okay. Shut up. I'm sick of these freaking people. Okay. So after the altercation, you ran and hid behind the wall. Where was your phone? Phone was back at the house. And when you went back, you saw Diddy? Yes. He was out on the street. And this had been hours, hadn't it? Jane said, yep, it had been hours. And you were angry and screaming and you still called him a PDF file? Jane said, no. At that time I called him a monster. But he didn't kick you again. No, he didn't kick me again. You punched him in the back of the head and he punched you? He punched me twice, Jane said. Now, the last 2 times I talked about this altercation, the video got yellowed / demonetized. And they don't give you an option to appeal it. They just take it. No appeal. Oh, no. Hold on. I gotta. Oh, my God. I gotta do some blocking. My God. Ooh, child, people got problems. Okay. We got a new update from NBC. She wasn't, I mean, not that. I don't know what this Jane Doe's body looks like. I'm sure she probably will look very great. I was more referring to my own, self trying to jump up and down, trying to put leggings on while I'm trying to escape. Like, that's not going to happen. I'm putting a dress on. Okay. A minute ago, NBCnews.com. Defense revisits physical fight between Jane and Diddy. She revisited the physical fight that happened in 2024 at Jane's residence. She testified that the drawn-out and violent incident began when she pushed Diddy's head into a marble countertop. She said the incident was sparked by her feelings of anger over suspicion he was on a family trip in Turks and Caicos with another woman. It's always Turks and Caicos. What they doing over there? Teenie is revisiting details of the fight, including what Jane said and did. But what were you wearing? She asked Jane about throwing a candle and glass before locking herself in a bedroom. During her direct testimony, Jane said she locked herself into a closet where she changed clothes, and she alleged that Diddy began his own assault on her in the hallway after she exited the closet. She said she ran away and hid behind a wall outside for 2 hours. Another update 5 minutes ago, theindependent.com. Defense asks Jane about a 2016 about the Intercontinental Hotel video. She previously testified that she was with Diddy when the previously unreleased footage aired on CNN. So she was with him whenever that footage was released. And then remember, one of Diddy's sons came in and told him about it. The footage has been brought up in court several times. Jane testified she was shocked to see the footage. She had not seen him act like that before. Okay, they are going on a break. Let's see if they're going to argue about this rapper or something. Let's see when the judge is going to have everybody come back. We have a new update from CNN. They didn't say. Usually CNN, sometimes maybe it's NBC, will say what time the lunch break's supposed to be over. Thanks so much to Holland for the $4.99 super chat. May like cuz. Shout out to you. Thanks so much to Facing Truth. She wanted a home for her and her son. For what she endured, was it just a house or was it a home? That's a question. That's a good question, Facing Truth. Thank you so much for that $5. Give a shout out to Shantae from London. Shout out to Shantae from London. Thanks so much for the £1.99 super chat, Mark Anthony. Shout out to Candy's Life becoming a member. Had to pay my dues this morning. I'm proud to be a member here. Shout out to you, Candy's Life. Thank you, Rosie, for the $4.99 super sticker. Just waiting to see if they're going to argue about anything at lunch, because you know they do argue at lunch. Okay. Yep, they're arguing. They're going back to the super secret room. The judge says 45 seconds ago, I would like lead counsel, that's Mark Agnifo, Maureen Comey, and counsel for Jane to come to the robing room. Agnifo said, I would actually like to discuss this in the presence of Mr. Combs. Now they're having a sidebar, a lunch sidebar. And the reason is because what happens in the robing room is like a different level of confidentiality. The defendant isn't supposed to go back there. It's not usually proper. But I think that the sidebars might be recorded on the transcript. Agnifo said, I don't want to go back there. That's probably what Diddy said too. Like, what do you mean? Y'all are all back there talking? And this is Brian Steele's specialty. You can't be back there having super secret meetings without the freaking defendant. I mean, it is his rights. It is his rights on the line. At the end of the day, like him, hate him, guilty, innocent, he has rights to know what's being said at his own trial, at the very least. So he probably was hollering at Mark about that. Remember, it was like he was so upset. It's like he wants to be a part of these conversations, I'm sure. Because look what it says. We're getting more insight. I would like lead counsel, the judge said, to come to the robing room. Come do some more post-it note activities in secret back here. Mark Agnifo, somehow becoming the champion of the public right to access the trial, said, I want to do this in front of Diddy since it's, like his rights on the line. The assistant U.S. attorney said, if this is about the issue we discussed in the robing room, we have concerns. What are the concerns about? Who knows? Judge said, okay, sidebar. I don't think Diddy gets up and goes to the sidebar, though. Julie said, Diddy does have the right to be present and know what's going on concerning his defense. It's true. It's true. Somebody said, wonder what time Jane's flight is. I'm wondering who. Less than a minute ago, court breaks for lunch. The judge again asked to see lead counsel and Jane's lawyer in the robing room. But Mark Agnifo asked if Diddy could be present. Now the parties are at sidebar. We have an update from NBC. Court takes a lunch break, but less so for lawyers. The judge dismissed the jurors for the lunch break, asking everybody to come back for 1:15. As jurors filed out, the judge asked prosecutors and Diddy's lawyers and Jane to meet him behind closed doors. This day of testimony got off to a late start, with lawyers debating the scope of questioning this witness. Okay, they doing a sidebar. Okay, the time as it is right now. Thanks so much, Albie Maine, for the 199 super chat. Thank you for your continued coverage. Love you, cousin. Shout out to the cousins in the chat. Love you to love you, mean it. Thank you to Chimera Cook for the 199 super chat. Yes, someone has already discussed Bianca's birthday. Yes, Sassy Cassie said, I love when Rabbit does the transcripts because she reads the sidebars. I'll try to keep Rabbits is usually the last ones I watch each night. And then I'm like falling asleep during them. I need to start changing the. Okay, Jules, good. Thank you. Shout out to Jules. She's given us some insight. She said, I was a court reporter and actually we went into the robing room. Okay. So it is just under seal. Shout out to the cousins. Oh, that's interesting, Tammy. Okay, so it's 12:42 right now. I'm going to come back at 1:30 p.m. In the meantime, I have y'all heading over to Rabbit. She's live right now. Tell her I sent you. Send her some hearts, drop some rabbits in her chat, and I will see you at around 1:30 p.m., about 40 minutes from now. Take your break, get your snack, all that, and we'll see if we can get some more insight into what's going on at the sidebar right now at that time. So all right, for this one, in the meantime, if facts ain't defamation, neither are opinions, and make sure that you didn't get unsubscribed. Love you, Mina K. Bye.